Hey, what's up, guys? Yes, first time in a little while I'm doing one of these StreamYard streams. And yeah, there'll be more people coming in eventually, but right now it's myself and Boss over here.
Hi.
So, yeah, we're just hanging out, just shooting the shit about whatever, and see some familiar faces around here pretty soon. We might get some members of Thralls popping in. Eventually, Chris from Metal Mania might pop in. Maybe Metal Ben. Maybe our boy Ricky Horror Master might pop in after he's done from work. It just depends on how long I'm going to be on for, pretty much.
I won't be on that long either because I gotta get up. I have to get up at 5 in the morning. God help me. But I mean, school's starting up, and it's my last full week basically because I'll be going in part time. So, unfortunately,
Yeah. And in the meantime, tomorrow I leave for Cincinnati to go see Gojira and Mastodon live, which that's gonna be fun for damn sure. Because yeah, it'll only be my second ever concert proper, not including shows I worked or a festival in the local area or school plays or whatever. No, in terms of like metal shows, this is my second show I've ever gone to that I will go to. Thankfully, I got earplugs I'm going to take with me because I hear Gojira plays quite loud. So I'm definitely going to need all the help I can get to protect my ears.
just hope you don't suffer vertigo like Nick did when they saw Motorhead live.
Yeah. I don't think Gojira are Motorhead levels of loud, but
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
it was probably Lemmy's bass. He kind of turned up just a little too loud.
Yeah, probably. That's probably the case if we're gonna be honest.
And you know what he's gonna
But
do? He's gonna tell you to suck one and shake your hand afterwards.
yeah. um, but anyways, so yeah, so today, beginning of my last year as a 20-something-year-old before I reached 30. So that's
Old man.
Yeah, needless to say. But as far as what all I did today, well, I worked, and then I went to a birthday dinner with the parents where I had a big barbecue sampler, but I couldn't eat it all, so I just took most of it home with me, but I haven't eaten any of it yet. I did have a slice of birthday cake, which was good. I did get some CDs in the mail today that I won't show until a future update video. So, yeah, and actually, I still actually got a few more CDs on the way, and I guess Ricky told me he's got a gift coming for me next week. So, I guess we'll see. Hey, James Qualls, thank you for the message. Hello, Marley. Thank you, Thrash or Thrashed, and thank you, Marley, for all the birthday stuff.
Also, what kind of cake are we talking about? Are we talking
Chocolate.
Scarlet, or are we talking?
Damn sweet Taurus.
Damn
Hey,
you.
Josh. Man, I wish you could be here, Josh, but hey, thanks. Thanks for the message.
They miss you, dude. I'm telling you, your post on Instagram with your album battles, I about broke down on a couple. I'm like,
It's what happens. It's what happens.
No, the one I thought was gonna get you was I was the one that said your favorite black metal album versus your favorite death metal album. And I'm like, ooh.
So it's Death versus Bathory, and of course, Death won.
I'm shocked you didn't say Symbolic. I thought you were gonna say Symbolic.
Well, for straight up death metal, yeah, Leprosy would be up there.
Yeah, true.
I kind of went for more what do I think is the best from each genre as opposed to personal favorites. I mean, if it was personal favorites, I don't even know what I would pick. Probably Symbolic and maybe Blazing the Northern Sky.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I probably still would go Symbolic.
For me, it would have been Human and Under the Sign, and even then, I'm like, because they're both different too. Like with Under the Sign, it's a little more anthemic, and it feels a little more like it has more of it's got more synth play. With Human, it's more technical, progressive, and a little bit of that jazz fusion because of Cynic. So it's not like straight up death metal versus straight up black metal. You have like different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like picking your favorite children. It's like, do I pick Jimmy or do I pick Johnny? I can't tell.
Yeah, that sometimes can be the case.
We don't talk about little Steve. He's cutting the yard right now. He disappointed me.
But as far as like stuff going on with the channel, just a quick note for people who are watching right now. I am kind of having to be a little bit picky on when I'm using this current computer right now because it's been having some overheating issues for having it on too long. I think the processor either needs some new thermal paste or needs replaced and cleaned out. So basically, I'm just having to use my computer sparingly for now. Like, only use it for like before I go to work. And then after I get home from work, I'll turn it back on and use it until before I go to sleep to do whatever it is I got to do. So, yeah, I'm only using the computer sparingly. Streams will still possibly happen on Twitch. If not, I might take a break from Twitch streaming for a little bit until I can either get this fixed or I have to bite the bullet and save a month to a month and a half worth of money to buy a new computer.
Which is about
It depends. It depends on what parts I want to get for it. Like it could be 1,000, could be 2,000.
Nah. Screw it. We're going $4,000.
I don't think I would go that far, but or I might just get a gaming laptop. You never know with me.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I can get at least the processor sorted out so that way I don't have to do that. So I don't know, but for now it seems to be running all right. So I just gotta watch how long I use it for, it seems. But anyways, but as far as like content coming up, yeah, now with this computer stuff happening, I might end up canceling my plan that I had for October unless something happens. So what that post was I put on YouTube a couple days ago. I was planning to do a 20th anniversary review of WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Kind of in the vein of like what Kamikaze Games used to do with game reviews, and that was graded by 6 categories. But I don't know, it still might happen. It just depends on if I feel like getting all the footage spliced together and have the patience to get through, because that was kind of the issue.
I thought it was going to be gameplay at first, but you do that on Twitch, so.
Yeah. So, but in case that don't happen, at least I gave it a try this time around. I actually recorded my audio for it and I got footage for it. I just have to edit it all together. But it'd probably come out to like a 16, 18 minute long video, and I feel like I'd have to go through a lot of clips to get to the parts of whenever I would talk about certain stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll have the patience for it. That's the big problem. But aside from that, as far as like what all other content's coming up, well, Thursday night I'll be back on here to do a live show review of Gojira Mastodon Lorna Shore when I see them tomorrow night.
Oh, and then Lorna Shore?
Yeah, Lorna Shore's opening.
Oh.
But I expect they'll probably only play like 30 minutes. Because I think Lorna Shore will probably play 30 minutes, Mastodon probably an hour, and Gojira about 2.
Yeah, that seems all right. I mean, see, Lorna Shore, I'm sorry, I do not get
I'm
the
not
appeal
into
of-
them.
just symphonic deathcore is just not a genre that really needs to happen. Like the one I reviewed, Shadow of a Tense Elegy, I was not a fan of it. I really wasn't. Like the only thing that really interests me was Chuck Billy when he did a guest spot, but even then, it's like,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It doesn't fit. It's like you're putting a square peg in a round hole. It just won't work.
It is what it is. But as far as like the uploads I got planned, so this weekend I plan to review the new Cataclysm and the new Werewolves. So Cataclysm, this will actually be the first full Cataclysm album I'm going to check out. I've only heard like songs here and there, but never a full album. And then Werewolves I've never heard of, so that will be an interesting deep dive. And then, of course, Under the Radar, which I think this coming Under the Radar will only be a couple of albums. And then next week, or the weekend after, 2 big underground ones, Spirit Adrift and Horrendous.
Yes.
Which, first time in 5 years that a Horrendous album's coming out. So, and I really liked the last one that came out. I think it was Idol in 2018. I thought that was really cool. Like Prog Death meets At the Gates.
Prog Metal Death.
Well, not quite Prog Mellow Death, but like I only say At the Gates because of the vocals. Like the vocals kind of sound like a hybrid of Tampa and Chuck.
Gotcha.
Like musically, they're closer to Death.
Gotcha.
But with some Swedish death flair in there, here and there.
I've been hearing a lot of like good stuff about Spirit of Drift. I heard that their last, I think, EP that came out in 2020, I heard that was really good stuff, and I heard a couple samples. I'm like, that actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and then after those, of course, Under the Radar for that week. But the end of the month, when it comes to releases, is going to be big. Death Clock and Incantation, and I think Incantation is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh.
And then following that, there will be 2 episodes of Under the Radar because there are a lot of albums coming out on August 25th that I want to check out.
Oh, man, dude, September and October are going to be stacked. Oh, my God. Like, especially September, because what we have new Cannibal Corpse.
Marduk, Soen.
Yes, dude.
Dying Fetus and Cryptopsy on the same day.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. September's gonna be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to make my top 15 to probably a top 20 to maybe a top 25. I don't know. I've been here. I've reviewed a lot of albums this year.
But I would say for the first part of September, Soen's going to be the big one for me because I really loved Imperial when it came out in 2021. And then the 2 singles I've heard for the new album, Memorial, which is the name of the album, such a catchy yet heavy song.
Isn't Soen a I've heard the name. I haven't heard them fully, but aren't they
they're a prog alternative metal band.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like Opeth meets Tool.
Okay, gotcha.
With a hint of Catatonia.
Or just Tool in general, because Tool's always been prog.
Yeah. But there's also a little Catatonia in there, too. Hell, the frontman of Soen, Joel, did a guest spot on the new Catatonia.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, wasn't that?
And also, of course, Soen with Martin Lopez, formerly of Opeth, on drums.
Oh, that's cool.
And even early on, Soen had Steve DiGiorgio on bass.
Jesus.
early on.
Dude, what band has Steve DiGiorgio not been in? Like,
I know, that's the bigger question.
he's probably been in Priest. He probably did Maiden one time. No, I'm just kidding. Steve wouldn't allow that. Not Motorhead. Lemmy won't allow him to do that. I mean, in terms of like the more extreme side, I guess, like
He's been in
Steve's
a
done it all.
bunch. Death, Autopsy, Testament, Charred Walls of the Damned, and also been in Sebastian Bach.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, let's just say Steve's kind of a busy guy. He's kind of got
Top
like
5
15
bassist
projects.
in metal history.
Oh god, well yeah, he's called the Fretless Wonder himself.
Mm-hmm. Like if you were to ask me top 5 best bassists in metal, from 5 to 1, Steve DiGiorgio, Alex Webster, Cliff Burton, Steve Harris, Geezer Butler.
Mine's kind of in there. Geezer, Steve, DiGiorgio, Webster, Cliff. Steve's good too. I don't know. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with him.
Steve Harris?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's just that sometimes his bass work can be a little much for me at some points. But I guess yeah, Steve, both the Steves. I respect Harris. I really do.
Now, if I were to include others for like a top 10, I would have had like John Myung from Dream Theater, Martin Mendez from Opeth, Billy Sheenan, been in UFO, Mr. Big, Winery Dogs, among many other bands and projects. Ryan Martney from Mudvayne would probably be up there because he's a beast. I actually remember we did a Horseman episode not too long ago about this topic,
you did.
and I don't even remember who all I had on my list. Roger Patterson from Atheist.
Yes.
Sad he only got to play on the first album, and while he wrote all the bass parts for Unquestionable Presence, he passed away before the album could be recorded.
And didn't Suffocation dedicate Effigy?
A lot of bands dedicated stuff to him around 91 and 92, like Suffocation. I'm pretty sure Death did. Napalm Death. Bunch of bands. Because he was kind of an unsung hero a little bit for bass playing.
Shit. Terry Butler. What was Terry Butler the bassist for Death?
For Leprosy. Well, he didn't play on Leprosy, but he was in the lineup, and Spiritual Healing.
I would include him too.
Well, I mean, he's not like super crazy. I mean, after all, he also plays with a pick, and that kind of puts you lower for me. I always like bassists who can play with their fingers more, even though whenever they play with a pick, it does sound better as far as tone. But if you were to ask me, like, best finger-picking bassists, D.D. Verney from Overkill would be my number one.
Oh, God, dude.
Because his tone is thick. David Ellefson.
We're talking, like, thicker than Nikita Lyons thick. Sorry, Ricky.
I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, D.D. Verney would be up there. David Ellefson, Jason Newsted.
Oh yeah, Newsted. Yeah, him's up. He's up there.
Tom Angel Ripper from Sodom.
Oh, Lemmy. Duh.
Lemmy, of course, Lemmy.
Well, then to be fair, his bass does sound like a guitar most of the time. So.
And I would say neck and neck with D.D. Verney for best finger picking bassist. Sean Beasley from Dying Fetus.
Yeah.
Because he does freaking bass sweeps, like guitar sweeps, to compete with John Gallagher.
I mean, John was on that latest Frozen Soul album, and if he sounds anything like he does in the new Dying Fetus,
It's gonna be disgusting.
Ugh.
Blech.
No, like I was re-listening to Glacial Domination, and I'm like, dude,
I
this
still need
sounds
to
like
get
Morbid Angel. You could say Bolt
like
Thrower,
Morbid
but
Angel meets Bolt Thrower.
yes, like
It's
particularly
like some parts. It's like some parts. Yeah, maybe a bit Morbid Angel, but mostly Bolt Thrower when it got to the double time stomps.
Yeah, like I was mainly
And even the
reminded of
vocals kind of remind me of early Carl Willits.
some of them reminded me of Steve Tucker, which I really love. Because if y'all know me, I love Gateways to Annihilation. That's my favorite Steve Tucker album. Like I love Formulas, but the problem is with that album, too many damn interludes. Too
Especially
many.
those final 3 tracks.
They should have just sent out an invitational continual one, goddammit. Oh well. Well, at least I forgot what that one was called. That was kind of Latin. That one was fine, but the last two were just like, why? Like,
Although
more...
Hymn to a Gas Giant, I thought was a really good interlude because you got to hear Trey do cool work on like a classical clean tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a brilliant segue and from Covenant of Death to Invocation.
Oh,
that would probably have been the one interlude I would have kept was Hymn to a Gas Giant.
Yeah, that one's fine. It's just the other 3. It's like, why?
The 3 that came at the end of the album, it's like, why?
It's like, okay, I understand if you want to end it on a more atmospheric note, but you could have probably added to them to Invocational, but that's just me. Another bassist, granted, his bass work wasn't shown a whole lot on a lot of the albums, but I would say Tom Araya.
Maybe early on, yeah, like his
Early on,
stuff on Hell Awaits.
Oh, dude, his bass work is all over that. Like, I was listening to at Donnie Sleep at work. It's like, oh, that bass work. I was basically frothing at the mouth, but I didn't want anybody to notice what I was listening to.
But real quick for the people who are watching, if you guys want to ask questions, bring them on.
And no, we do not know how big is Batista's dick. Do not ask that question.
No. But anyways,
ask Melina.
Oh Jesus. Ah. But anyways, so
good old childhood humor.
Yeah. Actually, let me see as far as like any other releases after September. Or also in September. So I got on my list, September 1st. Soen, Marduk, Primal Fear.
Yes. They're releasing an album that Sodom already did. Code Red. We already heard it. It was a great album.
Biocancer, which I've heard a lot of good things about that band. Talk. Taake, Norwegian black metal band.
Taka. Taka, that's what it is.
Yeah. Then the following week, the 8th. That's a lot. Yeah, Cryptopsy Dying Fetus, also Uada, Silosis.
Uada.
That's gonna be a lot. Then the 15th, Brujeria, Alkaloid, Ricky. Baroness. That's gonna be interesting.
Yes, Baroness.
Then the 22nd, of course, Cannibal Corpse.
That new single was really damn good. Bloodline.
Bloodblind, yeah. That opening riff made me think Morbid Angel.
Yes. It's because Rutan wrote that.
You got Eric still in there, and he wrote that song.
Granted, the only complaint, it's a minor one, but I feel like it might be major. The cymbals are a little too small. Especially the snare.
They do sound a little small.
They sound a little pink, but dude, Alex's drums sound fucking awesome.
You mean Paul?
Yeah, Alex, Alex Paul. Damn it.
The only 2 originals left.
How many strikes is that now?
I don't fucking know. I've lost count. But anyways, so then October. So far, I haven't seen a whole lot for October just yet, but like some big ones. Carnifex. I didn't check out Graveside Confessions, but I did check out World War X when it came out in 2019. I thought that was actually a really good symphonic blackened deathcore album. Not so much on the symphonic side, just peppered in there a little bit. KK's Priest.
Yes, the center rides again. Okay.
I haven't checked out the first KK's Priest album.
I did. I gave it a little too much hype because I'm like, okay, I
because
love
KK's
Ripper.
back to playing music again.
Yeah, I kind of overhyped it a little too much. It's fine. It just feels like KK's trying to outdo Priest, and you can't really do that. The first single they did, One More Shot of Glory, it feels like an Iron Maiden song. Like, it has an Iron Maiden gallop to it. Ripper sounds awesome. It's more, it feels more straight ahead, and it feels more cliche-ish, if you want to be. But they didn't do a little too cheesy with the lyrics like they did on the last album, which was a big complaint for me. But everyone sounds good. KK's still fucking slinging that guitar. Like, that dude's still pissing riffs like it's nothing.
Piss and
it's
riffs.
Ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
You want to piss a riff with me?
Sure, I'll meet you out in the urinal in 5. Did we just become best friends? Yep. You want to go? You want to go
do karate in the garage? Yep.
Do you want to go piss riffs? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways, but one album coming out in October that I'm going to be curious about, Morticide, which is a project of our good friend the Just Joshin on YouTube.
Oh shit! I didn't know he was in a band.
It's a one-man band. So
it sounds like a death metal band.
Josh, if you're still here watching, I will check that album out when it comes out. It might end up going into under the radar depending on what else is going to come out in October. But not a whole lot for. Well, actually, there is another underground release I'm curious about. Exorcist at the Somber Steps to Serenity. I mainly wanted to check that out because Nick brought it up in their first album in a collection update, and basically said it's perfect like companion to Left Hand Path and Dark Recollections and Like an Ever Flowing Stream, like the real early Swedish Death style. Yeah. Not so much the bloodbath worship of a lot of bands lately, more of the Entombed, Carnage, and Dismember worship, like that more punky, thrashy Swedish death metal.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Exorcist, that kind of unintentionally leads to, I think, I want to be correct, the producer of The Exorcist, of the actual movie, passed away yesterday. I want to say he's the producer, but I don't remember. But I did hear he passed, and I'm like, well, at least he didn't pass on that set, because if you know that, you know.
Yeah. And then only one album I saw coming out in November that I'm hyped for. Carnation, Cursed Mortality. That is a band that is badass. Belgian death metal that very much sounds like if Cannibal Corpse was a Swedish death metal band. Because they play HM2 guitars. It's got a lot of grooves, some thrash parts, kind of like Cannibal Corpse. And even the vocals sound almost like Corpse Grinder, but it's on top of this Boss HM2 chainsaw tone. So it's like, yeah, this is definitely what would happen if Cannibal Corpse was a Swedish death metal band.
So kind
and I have
like,
their other two albums, and they're awesome.
Kind of like Vomitory in a way, but a little more heavy.
I would say they're more like closer to Bloodbath than Vomitory. Because Vomitory, I say, are a lot thrashier, kind of like Vader. Whereas Carnation, I feel like they're not as thrashy, like they have thrash parts, but there's a lot of groove going on. Maybe occasional doom parts that feel closer to Bloodbath.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was listening to Vomitory at work.
I still need to get that new album.
All Heads Are Going Gold, dude. That's an album ender for me. That album kicked so much ass. Like, you know you're getting somehow creative when you have a song that has meat saw in it. How has no death metal band thought of that? I mean, Cannibal Corpse take notes in some way.
Speaking of gory shit, I've been digging more Impaled as of late. Listening to more of the album I've been trying to find on Discogs that isn't $100. Like, there's a song and music video called Operating Theater where they basically just take a guy, strap him down to a surgical table, and they rip open his stomach and pull his guts out, and then they force his mouth open and pull his tongue out, and then pull an eyeball out before putting him in a body bag.
That is straight up Carcass.
Yeah. After all, the music's very much like Carcass. Like, there's a lot of thrash elements, some blast beats, some mellow death riffing, and even the vocals. Like, there's 3 vocalists. One that does like the Bill Steer mid-ranged growl, one vocalist who does the Jeff Walker snarl, and then the third vocalist, Ross Sewage, also in Exhumed, does like the low, guttural, brutal death vocals, kind of like Frank Mullen. Pretty much. So, yeah, and especially if you ever check out their song Gutless from Death After Life, it sounds straight up like if Carcass and At the Gates had a child. It's like the drums kind of sound a little raw, but man, the riffs, they pack so much Carcass and At the Gates in there. Oh boy, already. The first question.
Yeah, I saw.
Rob Flynn or Fred Durst? Can I pick neither, please?
Okay. Option C, Ace Frehley.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, I guess Rob Flynn would be least likely to punch me. So I guess Rob Flynn, even though I don't like saying that.
I would say Rob only because he was cool until the whole
Phil thing.
Fred's always been a douche. He's always been one. Mm-hmm. And he knows that he embraces it in a sad way, but
yeah.
I mean, what do you get when you have a band that's called Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Qualls. Top 5 AC/DC albums?
You'll have
I don't know. That would be a huge rabbit hole if I ever have to rank AC/DC. But if I were to say my 5, Powerage, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and High Voltage, I think.
Just 5 off the top of my head. For Those Who About to Rock, I think is fine. Back in Black, obviously, because that was their comeback album. High Voltage, that's a classic. Dirty Deeds, obviously. Highway to Hell, the best Bon Scott, or not Bon Scott.
It was Bon Scott.
Yeah, it was Bon. Okay.
It was the last one with Bon.
I keep getting him and Brian Johnson confused because they literally are the same fucking vocalist in a way. It's just Brian has a little more. He has a little more rasp to his voice.
Yeah. I don't know. I always liked Powerage just because like there wasn't as many of the major hits like some of the albums before or after. Like I felt like it was more just all the way through a perfect album. Let's see. Would I ever get any of the Australian editions of Bon Scott albums? I don't know. That would depend on what
if they're in the record
differences
store, I'll
are.
get them. Why not?
It depends on what would be the differences between those and the versions that I have. But I got all of the Bon stuff, well, except for the Jailbreak 74 EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I pretty much got. I think I got all the Bon albums. Let me check. To my music folder, AC/DC, High Voltage, Dirty Deeds, Let There Be Rock, Powerage, Highway to Hell. Yes, I do. So I got all of the Bon albums and only 3 Brian Johnsons. Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, and Razor's Edge.
I mean,
the 3 big ones.
Thunderstruck. I mean, what else needs to be said?
Exactly.
So, last week, I listened to that new Crypta album.
Them ladies are a flying.
Ladies, I would willing to bet you're very nice people. Do not growl at me.
Do not growl at me. And hey, boss, we have a run-in. It is Jammin' John.
Oh! Yo. It's Mr. Altars of Madness lover himself.
Yes. You get flesh.
He said it, not me this time.
No,
I can't even see him, so I don't even know who's giving me shit.
It's me, the ginger. No, it's because my camera keeps going upside down when I do it like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like, you okay over there? But anyways, how you been, John?
Oh, not bad. Just got done eating some food, and yeah, life's good. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm also battling the tail end of a sinus infection, and that's not going well either. So,
oh, geez. Yeah,
there we go.
I'm fighting me a little full stomach after I had a birthday dinner of a big barbecue sampler that I couldn't finish.
I'm having goldfish.
Where'd you get a barbecue sampler?
Oh, my mom's lodge that she's the boss of, just 5 miles down the road. So, yeah, it was quite good to say the very least. But so yeah, it's crazy to think. It's like today was kind of a boring day, I'll be honest, because I was at work and then I had the dinner. But I did get some stuff here that I'll go over in an update eventually. You know what, screw it, I'll show off. So I got I've been slowly working my way through Dream Theater. So I got When Day and Dream Unite today, Dramatic Turn of Events, and the self-titled Dream Theater. So now the only Dream Theater albums I'm missing are Systematic Chaos, Black Cloud, Silver Linings, and Distance Over Time. And yes, I have the Astonishing, because I didn't know any better 7 years ago when it came out. And then I got Killswitch, Engage, Alive, or Just Breathing, finally, after years of forgetting about it. So,
you gotta let Shredlord in. There he
is.
Shred,
Turd Sandwich.
It's a funny name.
It is indeed.
Happy birthday, man. How you doing?
Thanks. I'm all right. I just had honestly a boring day. I was at work, and then I had this barbecue sampler that I could not finish.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So I still got stuff in the fridge that I got eaten. Yeah, and I would feel better if this goddamn thing would quit overheating on me anytime I use it for more than 10 hours.
What kind of cooling system do you have in it right now?
I want to say it's a liquid cooling. I gotta go to a freaking video description because I never remember my specs. But I'm just hoping that if I were to take it to a repair shop, they can just fix it, because I don't want to have to put together $2,000 to get a new computer right now.
No, I'm guessing your cooling system is not doing its job 100%.
Now, or it's wore out because I've had it for 3 years. It does not say what cooling system I have. God damn it. So
I'm sure the Best Buy or whoever you take it, they'll know.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I did get this from iBuyPower 3 years ago as a Memorial Day sale thing. Thankfully, I still got...
Take the metal route. Hit it with a fucking hammer.
Hammer smash things, dude, you know?
I mean...
It's not working!
If it doesn't keep going, I'm definitely going to have to get a new one. Well, I do have my old computer, but I can't use my editing software on it if I ever have to edit videos. So I'm just trying to play it safe with this for now and just only use it a little bit every day to preserve it a little bit. So that way I can still keep pumping out stuff. Otherwise, I'm fucked.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Especially with...
It's not Hammer Smash Face. It's now Hammer Smash Processor.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Needless to
Well, with that
fucking say.
attitude, yeah.
But so Shred, I was just showing these guys everything I got in the mail today. So I was supposed to have gotten these Saturday, but just so happened to come to the mail on my birthday. So I got Killswitch, Alive
Good
or Just
album.
Breathing. Finally, after I kept forgetting about it. So now I got the Killswitch I need, which was this, the first two Howard albums, and Disarmed to the Descent, because those were the only Killswitch albums I actually liked. But you'll be proud of me, Joe. I'm almost through with Dream Theater.
Nice. Yeah.
So I got When Day and Dream Unite, Dramatic Turn of Events, and Dream Theater.
The self-title is really good, man. That song, Enemy Inside, I remember when it came out, and I was just thinking how heavy the riff is, man.
Yeah. So now the only ones I'm missing are Systematic Chaos,
One
Black
of my
Clouds and
favorites.
Silver Linings, and Distance Over Time.
Yeah, all three of those are great albums. I think Systematic Chaos is one of my favorites of all time, though, when it comes to Dream Theater. It's a really good album.
Man, if it ever comes down to where I got a fucking ranked Dream Theater, that's gonna be brutal.
It is
Well,
brutal.
except for the Astonishing.
Yeah, you can
that's
place
an
that
easy
dead
last
last.
place. Even though I don't think it's necessarily bad, it's just why did it have to be as long as it was?
And they really tried to, like, I don't know, promote it, or the way they did it was weird. They made like a Game of Thrones kind of game for it and shit like that. I thought it was kind of cheesy.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But and actually I got another band that I'm working towards getting all the stuff from, and that's In Mourning.
Okay.
Yeah, like I did send you a song, Shred. Yeah, basically, if for those who love Opeth, they will love In Mourning. Like, I mean, Opeth from Watershed on back. You will love In Mourning because it basically sounds like where Opeth would be if they stayed the death metal route.
Somebody had to do it.
And it was another Swedish band.
That's honestly, it's only right.
Yeah, just only. Even though sometimes it's like, yeah, it's very Opeth, but also has some moments that remind me of Insomnium a little bit, especially whenever it gets like really somber sounding. It makes me think of like Insomnium a little bit. But 3 vocalists, and they all deliver. Like 2 of them do the growls, but all 3 of them do cleans, and it sounds awesome. Hell, their drummer was a touring drummer for Dark Tranquillity recently. So some big name talent going through that band. But
Chris Ammett just left Dark Tranquillity.
Yeah.
Damn.
He kind of does that, though. I feel like he's kind of a hard dude to work with, I bet. Because even his brother and him, he leaves Arch Enemy, he comes back, he leaves, he comes back, he does Ghost Ship Armageddon, then he doesn't do that anymore, then he's in Dark Tranquillity.
He's either in or he's out. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Fucking guitar players.
Oh,
you just made him go.
Nope. We lost sound too. Hold on.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. It's just a
Yep.
domino
The
effect.
timing. The timing on that.
Yeah, where the guitarist just decides to leave conversation. Fucking guitarist. Click.
Oh boy.
He's
Oh my
back.
god. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was really weird. All of a sudden, it just, like, booted me.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh. This is straight up troll. Damn it, Ace.
I saw that.
Cherry orchards.
The streetlights just came on. I gotta go home.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
You know what? At least the man has an opinion and he stands behind it, damn it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I can say.
Now,
I like Cold
Levi,
Oh
Levi
boy, what
showed
you
I like,
up his...
I like Altars of Madness too, just not as much.
Yeah, the ranking above Domination, though. It's good, but it's the weakest of the Dave Vincent era. Early Dave Vincent.
Dave.
I gotta go get my headphones, dude. I can't fucking hear.
Yeah, get
Ah.
actually check this out. Don't I have some? Right.
I don't know if it's just my audio or my mic quality.
Yeah, they're
It
just
could
in the
be
car.
Oh, use these.
Oh no, because I don't have that kind of jack.
Oh, okay. Psych. He'll be back.
Ah,
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Well, Shred, since Levi showed up his collection, I got quite a few albums here myself.
Hit
Oh,
me
yeah,
up.
he got some goodies.
I got Beyond Fear's self-titled album.
The
This is
Ripper,
when,
right?
Yep, this is when Ripper at the time was still with Iced Earth, but he went and did a little solo project, and this was produced by Jim Morris as well. I got this basically off the song Scream Machine because that song's fucking awesome, but I'll have to listen to the album to get like a full opinion on it. New cattle decap for you,
Of course.
dude. Fucking brilliant. That's all I'm gonna say. I got this spicy bad boy.
Do love me some Danzig.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
First three in particular.
How the Gods Kill, man.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the record store, and I'm buying that next time I go.
Is that
I
Scream
got
Bloody
Death.
Gore?
Yep. Scream Bloody Gore.
Hell yeah. Leprosy?
My favorite album by theirs. Human.
Oh, hold on.
Nope, I don't have Symbolic. They didn't have it in the store, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
But-
the one that's going to be kind of hard because it's a Roadrunner issue.
Right.
Yeah. The next are all going to be the band that you guys are going to be ranking here soon. Judas Priest.
I fucking love Judas Priest so much. Is that
Yeah.
Sad Wings of
Thing is-
Destiny?
Sad Wings of Destiny. This is the reissue or the remaster of Sin After Sin.
Yup.
One of the best albums, Stained Class. I mean, dude, the top 5 in their career.
Oh, for sure.
Hellbent Falera / Killing Machine. Got one of their more notable albums. For Steel. And one of their more underrated, I would say. Ram It Down.
I love Ram It Down, man.
I love. Just the only problem I have with it is it's just the drums I mainly have an issue with. That's mainly it. And by the way, for those of you Painkiller lovers, this album wouldn't exist. No Painkiller. So
It's true.
An
It
album-
was the precursor to Painkiller, man.
a certain album deserves a thank you there. All right, next up, I got the new Metal Church.
Ooh.
I fucking love this album. I know a lot of people don't dig the vocals. I personally love them.
Which one?
Right. Congregation of Annihilation, Metal Church,
Oh, yeah.
Metallica.
Yeah, he got the good stuff.
Yeah. Before it went
Kill 'em
uber
all.
lame. A.
Ride the Lightning, and then mine and Shred's favorite.
There we go.
That's the one, dude. I'm telling
That's
you.
still my favorite album, period. Without that album,
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't be here.
Thank
It's
you,
such a
Stranger
great album.
Things.
Yep.
And it
Death
starts
And then
Magnetic.
Death
back.
Magnetic.
That was a
With
good
the-
one,
Bob
too.
Mac album.
I'd say,
And
personally, that's the most underrated one, I would say.
Yes.
If the production was better, I think it would be more appreciated.
And actually, when you open it up and like the coffin and all that stuff, there's actually the lyrics to the song.
I wish
on
I
it.
had that version with that casing, because that'd be pretty sweet.
It's just this thing. This thing's a bit old. That's just about it. And I got their latest album, 72 Seasons.
Which I thought every song I heard off of it, I thought was pretty good, man.
Most
No.
of it I really liked. Some of it could have been whittled down, but
I didn't
For the
listen to
most
the whole
part.
thing. I did hear it was long in the tooth. It's no
I-
the dead, the sick, and the dying.
The Sick, the Dying and Dead.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean, the one song I've jammed the most from 72 Seasons, oddly enough, is "You Must Burn," just because I just love how it has so much Black Sabbath to it, and that breakdown bridge riff with that cool vocal effect that James was using, where he got like this high and low, makes it sound psychedelic. I was like, that sounds pretty fucking cool.
John, Shred, you're gonna love this one. Motorhead Bomber.
Oh yeah,
Still
dude.
need to get some more Motorhead, damn it.
Which I saw on their album of theirs, but it was fucking pricey. But you know what? I'm still gonna buy it, and you guys might know which one it is. John, you're gonna love me for this one.
Okay.
Napalm Death, The Throes of Joy, and the Jaws of Defeatism.
Word. That was a great album.
I'm waiting for a new Napalm album.
God.
I'm just curious how that's going to
Gonna
turn
die.
out.
Please don't.
Whenever.
You two at the bottom are gonna love me for this one.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Seasons in
Dude.
the Abyss.
Rip Jeff, dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really.
I got Slipknot self-titled.
Yeah, some
One of the
old
best.
Slipknot.
I got my personal favorite album by there. Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses.
I still need
I
to
know,
get that one.
I've been seeing people are pretty, divisive. I personally think it's their best.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah,
their
that was the album
songwriting
that
got more
had the
mature.
hits. It had the hits.
Yeah.
There's some jams on there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not my favorite, but there's some
in
jams.
I will say it's more so their Black album in some retrospect because it's more commercial. There's a little more. They've kind of slowed down on like the what's the word, like the cursing. They kind of limited that, and they went to be just the hits. That's about it. But there's like some deep cuts on the song that I really like.
No doubt about it.
Like
Like,
3 Now, Opening of the People,
Hell, there was
Pulse of the
one song.
Maggots.
Yeah, Pulse of the Maggots and
That's full on Slayer mode. I don't care what anyone
what's
says.
that one?
Virus of Life, The Nameless, Circle, Welcome, The Blister
It was Opening of
Exists.
the People.
Yeah, Opening of the People. Yeah, there's some damn good stuff. And We Are Not Your Kind.
That might be my personal favorite, just because of the different songs. Like Liar's Funeral might be my favorite Slipknot song now.
I personally checked out after All Hope Is Gone.
I remember being in high school and hearing, what is it, Bleed?
Wait and Bleed.
Wait and Bleed, yeah. And that's, man, Slipknot, when everyone was listening to Slipknot, I was digging Shadows Fall. I was listening to I was all about Shadows Fall when they came out, man. I was like, yes, these dudes are fucking thrashy. They're out here jamming solos, leads. I love John Dene. I remember when he hit the scene, there had the video for, it wasn't Destroyer of Senses, that's the second one, but whatever it was, it doesn't matter. But
Thoughts Without Words.
Thoughts Without Words, yeah. And they were in the middle of this room, and this dude was like tearing it up like a little bit Zakk Wylde, Dime-ish style, and I was like, yeah, man, that shit's right up my alley, man. So Slipknot kind of passed me by a little bit, although it's okay. I have seen them live in concert because I went to go watch Lamb of God, who opened up for Slipknot.
I saw him on that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I was actually drunk as hell because we had arrived in the early afternoon, pre-gamed in the parking lot, grilled steaks and jalapeno poppers, and drank IPAs in the 90-some degree heat.
Oh, jeez.
By the time I was literally half falling over during Lamb of God, singing every freaking word in the set, and then I stumbled my way out of the venue and slept underneath my buddy's van in the parking lot for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then woke back up and found them so we could go home.
Jeez.
Good times, man.
I guess I'm gonna find out. I guess I'm gonna find out how the concert scene's gonna look tomorrow night when I see Gojira and Mastodon.
Oh, nice.
man,
Oh,
man.
dude. Joe and I have seen. Actually, did we see Mastodon with Gojira
Yes,
when
we
we saw
did.
him? Yeah. Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, you're
Wait,
gonna-
was that Mastodon, Gojira, and Ghost?
No,
Or
that
no,
was
no, that was,
Opeth. I
no,
think
that
I
was
remembered
Opeth.
the tour that
It was
you're
Opeth.
thinking of.
And
Opeth.
John and I also
I remember
we went and
y'all
saw
Which I
talking
wish
about
I
it
could have
under
went to
Opeth
that show.
ranking.
Yeah, Joe and I went and saw that too.
It was
Yeah.
it was Opeth, Mastodon, and Ghost.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Ghost opened, then Mastodon, and Opeth headlined.
Yep.
All right, so my penultimate one and my album of the year from 2022, Soulfly's Totem.
Hey man,
Good record.
we love ourselves some fucking Max.
Dude, I've heard nothing but praise about those Morbid Visions and
I
Bestial
still need to get
Devastation.
those.
Oh, dude, they're great. They're take everything you love about the original releases and just tweak the mix, and it's fucking perfect.
And the guitar's in tune.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Which, don't
We
get me
all-
wrong, like, if I ever have to rank Sepultura, Morbid Vision's gonna be high, just because I love that charm of it sounds like crap. But even I'll admit, I think I like this new version more just because of everything being improved upon.
Because you can fucking hear it.
Yeah.
Morbid Visions
We'll
was
be right
kind
back.
of like, it was kind of like, in a way, Obsessed by Cruelty by Sodom. It's not really
Yeah.
a good album, but the charm and just how just raw and the chaotic nature of it gives it that whatever the hell they're going for there.
Yeah, because even when you think about it with Obsessed by Cruelty, especially considering there are two versions that were released, two different recordings, and I got both. The version that was released here in the States on Metal Blade, where they had it in standard tuning, and then you got the German version where they recorded it in D standard and added an extra song. And it's like, yeah, both versions don't sound the best, but if I had to choose which one I prefer, probably the US version, the original recording, just because the drumming I thought was better on that. Whereas I thought the guitars on the German version of Obsessed by Cruelty was a little bit better. But I don't know if they could have mixed both of those together, like the drums of the US version and the guitars from the German version for Obsessed by Cruelty. I think it would have been a lot more appreciated.
All right, and my final album, we all love our Typo Negative. Bloody
yeah.
Kisses.
Absolutely.
The best goth metal album, in my personal opinion. Featuring the best
Yeah.
goth metal song, in my opinion, Black Number 1.
Oh,
Even though I
man.
like World Coming Down a little bit more, but
World Coming Down's their best album, but that's more doom laden. That's like way doom laden.
like Sabbath. Yeah.
It's Sabbath, but like with like Candlemass like depression. That's in a way.
Mhm.
I still think it's all about the love, baby. For me, it's October Rust.
It's definitely between those three, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick any of those as your favorite and you wouldn't be wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Just for
Yeah,
different
it's 'cause-
reasons.
Typo doesn't have a bad album. And if
No,
you think you
I
do,
agree.
then you're wrong.
I agree.
Yeah, even my least favorite, Life is Killing Me, I still love.
Oh, there's plenty of things to like on that album. The song Anesthesia is on that album. That's one of my favorite of all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
And it's like, I always
hilarious.
consider like Bloody Kisses, October Rust, and World Coming Down like the unholy trilogy of Typo, because like Bloody Kiss is more of that humorous goth, October Rust romantic goth, and then World Coming Down dark.
Yeah, very dark.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone I love is dead.
Mm-hmm. But I figured I'd grab a couple of gems from the upper half of my shelf back over there. I still need to get the new one built because I'm about out of room on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
You're gonna look like Nick in no time. Be careful,
I highly doubt that, but we'll see. But yeah, some Disincarnate.
dude. That's the best album ever.
Wait, what album is it?
Disincarnate Names of the Carrion Kind.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Good old James Murphy. And then I would say John probably knows about this, but Impaled, Death After Life.
Oh, right on.
Basically, for anybody who loves Carcass and At the Gates, this is for you.
Yeah, that's a jam.
Yeah, I still want to get the album before this, Mondo Medical, but good luck trying to find it cheap on Discogs. I think the cheapest I see is like $70. God damn it.
Yeah, but what's the point of making money if you can't spend it, right? Especially on CDs or metal merch.
CD's nuts.
These nuts.
These nuts. I'll show you these nuts, motherfuckers. But definitely, Joe, definitely on this album in particular, the song Gutless, I think you would absolutely love the guitar work on that track, because it's like it starts off very much like At the Gates. I would say that song is particularly very At the Gates worshipped, but I say Carcass because one of the vocalists, Sean McGrath, who's also the lead guitarist, sounds just like Jeff Walker. It's uncanny.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued now.
And also the bassist, who's the other vocalist, Ross Sewage, also in Exhumed. Fucking his gutturals are so disgusting. And great bass work, too. But I would say... And also there's some like funny comedic interludes whenever they're like performing murderous surgery on somebody, like theater of operations on here. You literally, it's like you hear like horror ambience and they're talking like, and the guy's waking up choking like, oh, he's waking up. Ah, Professor, glad to see you're back in the land of the living, at least temporarily. This will only hurt until you die. Like, there's so much comedy on here too, which is perfect.
I don't know why that sounds like something the SOD would do, or SOAD.
Yeah,
most things only hurt until you die.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd be curious to see if this band would ever make a new album. But actually, Joe, funny enough, speaking of Sean, I don't know if it's still on YouTube. There was a clip of when Carcass was playing live somewhere in California. And they invited Sean on stage because it was his birthday. And they were, it was in the middle of Keep On Rotting in the Free World when they took like a little break. And they brought him on. And then they were doing the chorus back and forth. And it's like, you cannot tell a difference in their voices.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Off Swan Song, of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love that album.
Which I like, even though it would be my second to last. Still like it.
Cross Your Heart and Hope to Die.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I just love I love the riffs in that album, man. I mean, not that there aren't great riffs laden all throughout, but it's such a I mean, Carcass is always evolving too, but just a weird snapshot in their discography. But I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
See, the more I've listened to Torn Arteries, the more I like it. Like,
Yeah,
I really liked it.
It's a fucking killer album.
But as time is going on, I'm like, man, I'm really digging this album. Like, title track's great. The Sight's Remorseless Swing is one of the catchiest songs they've done. What's that
opening like Western guitar at first, and then it just goes in.
Bill Steer, man, he's criminally underrated.
Yeah, I even like the riffs he was doing in early Napalm Death too, like on From Enslavement to Obliteration. Some of those riffs, like Mentally Murdered, so thrashy.
Dude, I've tried to like Napalm Death. I just can't get into grindcore.
I mean, I'm kind of a similar boat. I'll listen to grind. It just depends on the style of grind. Like, if it's more death metal grind, I'll like. But if it's too much on the punk side, I pretend it doesn't exist.
Fair enough.
That's fair. I'm going to allow that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are bands that do balance both pretty well. Nasm, I love.
Yeah.
Who'd balance it all pretty. Rotten Sound, I really like.
Oh, dude, that album.
Basically,
Apocalypse.
sweet. That's like Bloodbath if they were grindcore.
Dude, that new
guitar.
Rotten Sound album that came out a couple months ago. Jesus, that's insanity.
That's a beastie album.
Like, it's 21.
Oh,
And hey, we got
shit.
Nicky.
Turd
Man,
sandwich.
yeah,
This guy
with
looks
him.
familiar.
It's a funny hat. It's a funny name.
Funny hat.
Yep.
What's up,
You got it
Nick?
at the right time, Nick. They're talking about grindcore.
Grindcore is awesome. Right,
Oh,
Joe?
Nick, wait, Nick. I also want to tell you something.
Oh, I figured that was gonna come in.
Fucking sweet. Joe loves Grindcore. Listen to
It's
Grindcore all
my-
the time.
It's his favorite. Don't
I
let him fool
celebrate
you.
its entire catalog.
Well, it won't take you very long, so that's the good part.
77 songs that are 20
That was-
seconds each.
I listened for like an hour. How many songs did I go through?
45.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Nick, I found this in the store last week.
Oh, great album. Actually, that was one of Joe's favorites from Napalm Death.
I think that was his number one.
The latest
Joseph,
one.
that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
From the ranking.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff going on that one. It's definitely more than just a grindcore album.
Oh,
The one before it was kind of okay, but it was still heavy as balls. What was that one?
Apex Predator, Easy Meat.
Easy Meat.
Apex
Yeah.
Predator.
Yep.
Oh,
Which
dude,
I
yeah.
bought when it came out. I actually
Smash a
have
single
the sticker
digit.
of it on my PS4. I don't know if I were to ever have to rank Napalm at some point on my channel. Trying to rank the top 10 is going to be
That's a
hard
tough one. I mean,
because there will be moments where I love Harmony Corruption because
It's
that
true.
was the first one I
Yeah.
checked out.
no, Harmony Corruption's awesome. I mean,
Because I love
that
that.
one
It was
stands
just
out because it's the lone
death
death
metal.
metal album.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Then I got moments where I'll listen to Utopia Banished more. Then
Brilliant
I'll have
album.
my time where I'll listen to Code is Red.
Code of Red's awesome.
I mean,
I got
that's
2
going to be
songs
a
on my
tough one.
Spotify playlist from Time Waits for No Slave.
I wish I had some Code Red. That's
Just
good
ask
shit.
Sodom. Just ask Sodom. It's okay.
I
No,
can't do
Time Waits for
Mountain
No
Dew
Slave
anymore.
is my
What?
Dude,
What?
that album's fucking heavy. Like On the Brink of Extinction is one of the catchiest songs. Like, they make that so damn catchy. I don't know how.
Oh, dude, Downbeat Click. Downbeat Click is. I don't know. That one might be my favorite on there. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones on that one.
I got this bad boy right here.
Oh, yeah. Excellent album.
Yeah, it's top 5. It's not my favorite, but I like it.
Oh, what? That's the best
He
Slayer
said
album
it
of all
was still
time.
top 5. Come on, calm down there.
That's the best Slayer album, period.
No, it's
My
Raining
number
Blood.
two.
It's Raining Blood
My
by a
number
long
two.
shot still. 29
Even though
minutes.
Okay.
though I listen to Hell Awaits more.
Rain and Blood's my number 2. South of Heaven's my number 1.
Southampton's a good one too. I mean, honestly, if you're talking anything between Hell Awaits and Seasons, you're talking about the best Slayer albums.
I might as well show you what I got, Nick, because you might actually approve of me. I don't know if you
He's starting to trying to play catch up to us.
Beyond Fear.
Beyond Fear, self-titled. This was Tim Ripper Owen's side project when he was in Iced Earth at the time. This was produced by Jim Morrison.
Oh,
It might not be your cup of tea, but it's like very thrashy and
I'm
You
hit
might
or miss
dig
when
it.
it comes down to Ripper. I don't know. Like, it depends on when you catch him.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Jugulator, but I hated
Oh, yeah.
Demolition. Like Demolition.
oh, Demolition sucks.
Demolition's the
Oh,
one Priest album I don't have yet.
That's the only. No, I don't own that one, and I don't own Turbo.
I am your turbo lover.
Tell me there's no other. We
And it's-
hold each other closer as we shift to overdrive.
Hey, you may not like that album, but that song's damn good.
That song.
That song is great.
The song's awesome. I like the song. It's just everything else that I've heard. Well, was it Out in the Cold? Out in the Cold's all right.
I love that song too.
Anyways, I got the second album of the year for me.
Oh, yeah, that new Cannibal.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking smoking, dude.
Yep, we got a Hopper's Foreskin right there.
Oh god, dude, yeah. Dickskin McCricket.
Get back in line.
Don't touch anything. For God's sake.
Don't touch Dot. God damn it.
Just stay where you are. Don't touch anything.
All right.
Danzig self-titled.
I've never been much of a Danzig fan.
That's fair.
Me either, but that thing I found on Cursed AI earlier, the Glenn Danzig gets his own show, the Three Danzigs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
My 3 Danzigs.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Yep.
If you're on,
Are you on
Facebook,
Thursday,
Yeah, oh yeah.
find
Yeah.
Oh
Cursed
my
AI.
god.
It's brilliant.
Yep. Find the Cursed AI Facebook. The best thing ever.
Oh dear lord.
Anyways. Scream bloody gore.
Oh, amazing. I mean, it says death on it. That means it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Bet your ass.
There it is. Yeah, the best one. The goat.
My number 2.
It's like that and individual thought patterns are like neck and neck for like number 2 and number 3. Like I can literally flip a coin and I can't tell.
I could literally flip a coin between Leprosy and Symbolic.
I think Human is the best Death album, but that's just me.
I like individual thought patterns a little bit more than Human, but I love all of their albums. All the albums are awesome. Like,
And by the way, these are all the albums for Death I have are the 2-disc compilation. Like for this one, it's the first disc. The first disc is like the album, but the second one's all instrumental.
Yep, as the relapse.
Yeah, the remasters. I have it.
Dude, Jeff over at Gas Mask, he has the even more special editions they did for that, like more limited number. They came like a gatefold fucking opening. They're going for like serious fucking money on Discogs now, but then again, like anything that's probably rare.
All right, you guys are going to be ranking this band soon.
Oh, dude, I love that album.
I love that one too.
I like a lot of early Priest.
I do too.
I mean, dude, Victim of Changes with the Ripper. Like this fucking gold. This is the remastered of Sin After Sin.
Dreamer Deceiver. That's my go-to.
Oh my god! I mean, I got that one because I loved Slayer's cover of Distant Aggressor. Hey, what's up, Josh?
What up? It's been a minute.
It has been a bit. You missed it earlier. I was talking about with albums coming out this year, and I do plan to check out your Morticide album.
Oh,
yeah, dude. You want to send me another one, dude?
Yeah, I got a guitar player. I got a drummer now. So
I saw the post.
The new album will have live drums, and might take a bit longer, but so going to be
take your time with it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying it might end up being on one of my under the radars. Just depends on what all else is going to come out. Because right now October is kind of looking a little light.
I'm on my last batch of stuff from Denver, and then on to some stuff I got here. So eventually, I'm going to have time to fucking cover some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nick, you're going to love me for this one right here.
Oh yeah, I mean. That one's going to be top 5. I can spoil that.
Yeah,
same here. Same here. Whenever I have to rank
literally
around Halloween,
dude, even their cover of "Better by You, Better Than Me," I think is fucking awesome.
Yep, I did every fucking riff on that album. I think is golden.
Hellbent Polaris / Killing Machine.
That's a great one too.
Oh,
dude, the song "Delivering the Goods." That's a top 10 favorite of mine.
Yep.
You ever see Sebastian Bach, or I should say Skid Row, playing that song live with Rob Halford?
You're getting some audio issues, man.
It's probably me and John.
There you go.
Yeah, we're sitting next to each other in the fucking living room, so.
Good thing we can't see where your hands are.
This is only my left.
Yep. This is only my right.
But you're so wrong.
Anyways, I got Rain It Down.
I own that one. Man, I hate the drums on that.
Yeah, just the drum machine. That's literally the only thing that kind of bothered me. I got the New Metal Church album, which I fucking love. I love that album.
I think it's good. I'm still not sold on at least the album, but I heard he sounds much better live.
Yeah, that's fair. I know a lot of people aren't big fan of the vocals. Sorry, how am I saying? But I love the vocals, honestly. Got some Metallica.
To me, it kind of sounded like, oh yeah, classic. I mean,
Do it.
I still
with the Metal Church vocalist, he sounds like a Rottweiler or like a junkyard dog, but I like it.
I think he sounds like a small to medium dog because he has the higher register. I don't know. My thing was like he kind of overdid it. I think like dude, you got the job. You got it.
Yeah.
You don't have like no, I can do all sorts of crazy shit. Like maybe just
maybe not so much with us.
call them your vocal tits. Like that's probably my favorite Metallica.
Your vocals? Your vocalists?
Vocal tits. They're a real thing. Look them up.
Dude,
Well, hey, Levi, I don't mean to cut it short here for me, but I've been up a very long time, and I have to get up early tomorrow.
All right.
So happy birthday to you, sir. I hope whatever year this is for you treats you the best.
29.
May all the good things in life happen to you and only you. I'm also going to depart, buddy, because I got work in the morning as well. But I wanted to make sure that we popped out and wished you a little bit of birthday love.
Yep.
Plus, I got
Thanks, guys. And hey, let's not forget the possibility I'll be coming up to meet up with you guys here in a few weeks.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
Just keep us
let me
posted,
know
bud.
a date on that.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still
Keep us
trying to
posted.
figure out when. I will, definitely.
All right, cool. Take care,
I'll
brother.
See you two later.
Peace out.
Later.
And then
But
number
continue,
4.
boss.
So yeah, I also got a Ride of Lightning in case y'all didn't see.
Oh yeah, no,
I got
love that album. Still.
Levi's favorite.
What?
Dude, I'm
Sound like
bummed
the
I
vocals
missed
from
the
Crypto.
MetLife Stadium show this past weekend.
Yeah, dude, I'm not paying that much for that one. I do think it's cool that they were getting like some serious underground bands to open up. My buddy, he saw him in Chicago.
Ooh.
And
Ice
Snafu.
Nine Kills opened night 2 in MetLife Stadium.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Ice Nine Kills.
And Five Finger Death Punch was the co-headliner.
Yeah. Well, at least in Chicago, they had Snafu, which is they're like kind of blackened thrash, blackened death act from Detroit.
Oh, okay.
And 200 Stab Wounds got a chance
In
to open
Texas.
Nice.
in Texas. Yeah.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen they just announced a tour with fucking Frozen Soul and Tribal Gaze and Judiciary. Dude, tours.
I saw those dates. It's like, damn, why can't I have a Cincinnati or Columbus date? And I would have.
Oh, tours are popping up everywhere, man. Wolves in the Throne Room, Garia, and Black Braid are touring. Fuck, Cattle Decap and Immolation.
Got announced today.
That's another tour I wish I had a
holy
Cincinnati or
shit, dude.
Columbus
Immolation,
date.
The Bog, and Castrated.
Yep. It's going to be impossible to find them. Ulcerate is coming here, which they're coming all the way from New Zealand, and they rarely tour. God.
That's a band I would love to see live.
There's another one in there I'm probably fucking missing too because Cryptopsy, but they're not coming anywhere near. The closest they're coming is like Grand Rapids, and that's like a 3.5 hour drive. It's like for a one night show. No.
And to be honest, I'm not too big on the 2 new Cryptopsy songs.
I dig them. I mean, I like the last 2 EPs.
Yeah,
I'm still.
I
for
just
that
wish they
problem.
were a bit more dirty. Like they're a bit too.
I mean, I get like the very polished production, and I do like the drum sound though, because Flo's a fucking beast.
Right.
It's
But
flow. Nothing more, nothing less.
yeah, I mean, like none so vile, Blasphemy Made Flesh, like that. That's where I got into them. And Whisper Supremacy. Whisper Supremacy is kind of a dark horse. And overlooks that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
But I like the last 2 EPs. I do think the production on those last 2 EPs was a little bit grittier than what I've heard in terms of the singles. But musically, I mean, it's spot on. It's techie. It's groovy. It's brutal as hell.
Yeah.
And I know fucking Matt's got some haters, but fuck them.
What are your thoughts on the Unspoken King when they went deathcore?
Oh boy.
See, all right, I don't own that album. That's the only Cryptopsy album I don't own.
Here's my take on it. It should have been released by a different band. Like, if All Shall Perish released it instead, I think it would have done great.
See, from what I heard of it, it's not terrible. It's not,
They were trying to jump on a bandwagon at that time because deathcore was kind of right in that big high in the 2000s, and metalcore was kind of going to the side of it.
It was right there in 2008.
When I was the first introduction for Matt on vocals, I mean, everyone fucking loves Lord Worm, and I'm still kind of iffy on Lord Worm. Like, yeah, he's great at being extreme and sounding inhuman as hell, but I like Matt's ability to enunciate, and his cadences are different too.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
I thought the self-titled Cryptopsy album was really good.
Oh, dude, that one's a banger.
Yeah, the last full length.
Yeah.
That's an apology for everyone that didn't
Unspoken
like
King. Yeah,
if they just would have released that instead, I think people would have liked it.
I mean, I saw him. Let's see. The first time I saw Cryptopsy, they were touring on Unspoken King, and even the crowd was kind of wishy-washy, but they played a fucking ton of classic shit. So they're like, whatever. They played like one song off of Unspoken King, and they were like, whatever. But the last one, I think it was last time I saw them was with Aborted, and they just fucking ripped. Like it was disgusting.
When you made that noise, your cat just stared at you like you were saying something.
He's like, what did you say?
I'm really anticipating for that new Dying Fetus album, considering Jack Gallagher was on that latest Frozen Soul album, and he sounded fucking
Feast
brutal.
of Ashes, that fucking that riff gets me every time.
Dude, that's why I love Dying Fetus. They are insanely brutal, but they know how to be catchy. Like,
yes.
John Gallagher always has a riff for you.
Yeah,
Yes,
always.
No, I'm still not used to him with long hair and a big beard.
Dude, when I saw him for the first time with that, like when the picture where he was hugging fucking Corpse Grinder, was like, is that Brent Hines? The fuck? I was like, oh no. Oh shit. That's John
He's
Gallagher.
growing his hair and beard out. What the fuck?
He had glasses on too. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is this the same guy that was doing it
earlier? But the singles so far for Dying Fetus, they sound great. I mean, it sounds kind of close to what they were doing on the last one, but shortened up the songs, which was kind of my gripe about Wrong One to Fuck With, where songs are a little too long for
yeah.
Like Reign Supreme had the formula fucking just tightened down. Like that album is catchy. The songs are concise. They always have like a good couple of anchor riffs to it. And Wrong One to Fuck With had that, but again, it was kind of stretched out too long. It was like, you don't want that sound to get old. It shouldn't get stale.
Kind of like Immolation, the Acts of God, to an extent.
Kind
of like the last Immolation album.
I liked Acts of God. I think it's between those last two, it's hard to pick. I mean, I'll probably give a little bit to God damn it.
Atonement.
Atonement. I don't like that album cover at all. But yeah, I'll probably give a little bit to Atonement over Acts of God, but they're both excellent. And again, like that's a band that just knows how to write hooks their way, because fucking Rob is such an awesome guitarist and one of the most entertaining guitarists to watch live. Like
Acts of
God. Thing. Yeah.
Acts of God really grew on me because I didn't really like it initially, but as people were giving a lot of praise, I'm like, okay, I'll give it one more chance.
Is about.
I'm like, I'll see what they were talking about. And I'm like, I deserve to be slapped in the face for thinking what I was thinking. No, because watching y'all and Levi ranking it, I could see your skin visibly melt as you were ranking it. You're like,
There's even like my least favorite on there is like, I still love this album. I still think it's fucking awesome, but it's not as awesome as the other awesome albums. So yeah,
I just think Harnessing Ruin and Shadow of the Light, like those two were just kind of forgotten in some way.
Yeah,
like they're not like people say they're not bad, just no one talks about them.
Harnessing Ruin, at least I think there's some different songs on there. Like there's some kind of more melodic, songs, and then they actually kind of work. I think they're pretty good. The one with the whispered vocals, I can't think of the title right now. But yeah, I think it's a good album. Shadows on Light. Mostly, I just have issues with the production on it. Like, guitars are really thin. I think they kind of use an overabundance of solos on it. Like, it just seemed like every fucking 15 seconds, Rob was ripping just a super quick solo. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but you did that like 3 times in this one song.
You just did that 2 seconds ago, Rob. I don't care. I'm doing it again.
I mean, close to or below, nothing's going to touch that. That's God.
To me, nothing will touch Close to or Below, Dawn of Possession, and Here and After for me.
All right, Here and After's damn good too. Man,
Father, You're Not a Father. That song alone.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Fucking. Oh, God damn it.
Unholy Cult.
The one with the Token of Malice. Why can't I'm blanking on shit? I had a lot.
Oh, God.
Token of Malice?
Token of Malice. That's one of the songs on it. It's something in.
Cannibal Conspiracy?
No, one before it.
Majesty and Decay.
Majesty and Decay. There it is. That one is fantastic too. I like Kingdom Conspiracy too. Like, there are people that
I do too.
Shit on that one. Mostly, it's like, you just kind of picked in the drum production. I was like, I mean, it does have kind of deathcore sounding drums, but I don't care. The songs are fucking brutal.
Who cares? It's Immolation.
Exactly.
Yeah. It had worse drum sound. Failures for Gods, I still don't like the sound of the drums at all in there.
Neither.
But the drum performance is fucking excellent.
And the songs kick ass.
Yeah.
Speaking of Immolation, I'm anticipated, now that I hear about it, we're getting a new Incantation album.
Oh, the singles have been great, dude. They sound grimy and evil.
I haven't heard any Incantation, so I better not be disappointed.
I mean, you haven't jammed any Incantation?
No.
Oh, dude.
I've seen y'all rank him, and I'm like, well, these album covers look great, and the songs y'all talked about are great. That it's just when it comes to like, I'm still exploring my metalldom.
Yeah, he's a young bloomer over here.
Yeah, because I really didn't get started into metal like until I was about out of school. Like, growing in high school, the main band I really listened to was Slipknot, and that was about it.
Hey, Slipknot's a good gateway band because you still get some extremity in there.
You got your thrash, you got your death metal,
and blast beats,
especially Iowa for sure.
Yeah, Iowa has a great gateway into extreme metal.
Absolutely.
But I was gonna say, if you already listened to Immolation and found stuff you like there, Incantation's kind of in that same vein, except a little bit more doomy, like, because they do a lot of the Death Doom breakdowns. So,
and I've heard Death Doom before. Like, I'm not saying I've never heard of Death Doom. It's just that I haven't really explored that yet because I'm still trying to find my feet in. A lot.
I mean, the best way to do it, like, I mean, honestly, it's one of those just kind of throw you out in the ocean. It's like, let's see if he treads water.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Incantation's worth diving into because you'll find that a good chunk of death metal, especially right now, very influenced by Incantation. Like, I mean, Incantation, Morbid Angel, and Immolation, I would say, those are huge influences on a lot of modern death metal, especially the more cavernous sounding stuff. That's kind of Incantation's thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a while to get into death metal. Black metal, not so much, because I love atmosphere in my music. And black metal kind of just
spoke to you more.
Yeah, it just kind of grew on me more. Death metal, it took me a while because I'm like, well, it feels like everything's going so fast at once. Like, when I heard Cannibal Corpse, I Come Blood, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I can't hear what's going on. The song title's like edgy. And then I actually listened to Tomb and Mutilated, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I was kind of wrong about that.
Riffs, motherfucker. Dude, I Come Blood is like one of my favorite Cannibal Corpse riffs. Like,
I mean, dude, it's got some of the best song titles. Like, everyone's favorite, song. It's Jared Fogel's favorite song, Necropedophile. It's the
hell yeah, beautiful. Dude. They need to fucking play that live, and George needs to say, "This one goes out to all the fucking kids out there." Be perfect.
Dude, the first time I saw Cannibal Corpse, they were playing Sounds of the Underground, and he dedicated "Fucked with a Knife" to all the ladies in the audience.
Yeah.
And then to illustrate it, like, yeah, it's great. Like, there were a couple of chicks going, like, obviously the ones like, I'm here because my boyfriend likes metal. They're just like looking at the stage, like, seriously? He's like, yeah, I know, it's a fucking sick song.
We are not having sex for 3 months after this. Me and Levi were talking a little bit. That new Cannibal Corpse song, Bloodline, that came out like a month ago. Oh, dude, that's
chunky.
That opening riff immediately morbid.
I like that it's a more groovy song right out of the gate too. Like, almost kind of reminded me of Evisceration Plague, like the song.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Well, they got a new. There's gonna be a new one. I think drops tomorrow.
September.
I think so. Yeah,
they did that with Inhumane Harvest too. It's kind of more groovy.
And I'm kind of curious too, like about let's see how the writing tandem keeps growing with Rutan and the band too.
Rutan wrote that single, Bloodline. He wrote that song.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, wrote the song.
Kind of weird that because Barrett had like the longer solo on it. Rob still writes some fucking bangers.
He actually wrote the lyrics, I think, for the song too. I'm sure.
Of course, I'm stoked for that. So for New Incantation,
this year's really been the year for kind of like thrash and death and a little bit of prog metal this year in some ways.
And also, I would say like black metal, because there's been a lot of black metal I've checked out this year. That's been really good.
Yeah,
I would say my favorite of the bunch, the new Shooter.
Yeah,
Shooter is really good.
Album was great. Well, that's because it's got death metal blast beats on it.
Well, I mean,
a lot of thrash in there too.
Yeah, Shooter's consistent, dude. Northern Desert Hell. Yeah, that's the one that got me into it. I'm looking through all the stuff that I picked up. Honestly, I think it's Failure Will Follow, the second album or first album, whatever, because Acacia Strain put out 2. In terms of the more core stuff, that album's fucking awesome. They combined stoner doom with deathcore, and it fucking worked.
I listened to the new album from Crypta, and I fucking love that album.
Oh, it's honestly, it blows away their first one.
Oh, I still got.
I agree.
Yeah.
I only knew Crypta because of Nervosa, and I haven't checked out their stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is all female fronted. Let's see how it works. Probably gonna have a sweet voice. Oh, good lord, lady, I did not mean to piss you off today. I'm sorry. You have a good day.
She's got some solid lower vocals now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And does great bass work too.
I don't know. Have you jammed Bastard Grave? It's another really good.
Let me double check.
Death metal one that came out. I think they're from the UK. No, they're from Sweden.
Yeah, I checked that out back when it came out.
Man, I feel like
I thought it was solid.
Like, I feel like Sweden's just been pulling out bangers this year. Like that new Vomitory album was great.
Oh yeah,
new Wretched Fate was killer too.
I like that one, but I like the debut a bit more.
Is Enslaved from Sweden?
Norway.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh dear God, you had to bring up Enslaved. I gotta rank them next. God.
Yeah, I'm eventually gonna bring that one up, and I kind of dread that one because I mean, my pick was Immolation, which I dreaded anyway. But I had Voivod on there as well, which I really wanted to do that one eventually because that's such a fucking wild discography.
If Soulfly's Totem wasn't, if I didn't listen to Soulfly's Totem, Secret Anarchy would have been my album of the year last year.
Well, that was my album of the year. Like that was.
I forget where. I think I had top 20.
It was between that and Gavin's Heavy Pendulum, which I fucking adore that album.
Dude, that song Planet Eaters has one of the catchiest bass lines. It's like Primus in a way. It's like dun 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 dun, dun. And then we're all Planet Eaters. That music video is so fucking random too, but it's so cool.
Oh yeah, another one that's coming out in October that I found out about like today. Sulfur Aeon.
Ooh, I've
Yeah,
been
they're
needing to
dropping
check
a
that
new one.
band out. That's cool.
Oh, dude, all their albums are awesome. Like it is evil, sinister sounding, Lovecraft worshipping, epic fucking death metal. Like it makes. I mean, honestly, it's kind of everything I would want out of Behemoth, but they're just currently not writing.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a new Lion's Daughter album at the end of October.
I like that band. Their last one was fantastic.
I heard a lot of good praise about the Skin Show.
It's great. I mean, it's kind of somewhere between like punk, black metal, and like John Carpenter inspired synth pop. I fucking loved it.
I was talking to Levi about this earlier, but we're getting a new Dokken album apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, 80s.
Somebody
80s
agrees
Dokken
with
was
me about
good.
this, thankfully.
Hey, even if you don't enjoy Dokken, you gotta love George Lynch. Even though the
As a
George Lynch is a
guitarist.
super talented guitarist.
Yeah.
even though he's kind of a fucking tool and an asshole to deal with, he's a hell of a guitar player. I'm not denying.
Don Dokken can't sing.
Well, no, okay. Earlier
Anymore.
he could. The problem is he was going through vocal surgery. Like his pipes were just damaged beyond belief. It was kind of like how Bruce Dickinson went with his vocals. He had throat cancer.
After
I don't know what
cancer,
Don
yeah.
went through, but yeah, he didn't really sing that guy. Although they did get, of all people, Mark Bowles from those of you who know Yngwie Malmsteen. He was on that album, their latest album, Broken Bones, and he's currently their bassist right now, I want to say.
And I was saying that probably for the beginning of September, I'm looking forward to most the new Soen.
Yeah, that one kind of actually. Oh yeah, no, that would be the first one for September, wouldn't it?
Yeah, September 1st. Yeah, Memorial. I heard that self-titled single they dropped. Oh my god, that is so catchy. It's got heavy riffs and great.
I didn't
vocal
like the
hooks.
last one. The last
I
one.
loved.
See, the last one, I felt like the one, actually the two before it, were like this clear progression, like they were getting more proggy and more lavish, and then that last one kind of stayed in like a groove. Like it was almost kind of like if Tool did a fucking Seven Dust album, like kind of stayed chuggy, syncopated. I don't know. It didn't do very much for me, especially considering the two before it I thought were fucking excellent. So
I
speaking
did
of-
like Lotus when it came out.
Speaking of Seven Dust, how
2019.
was their latest album? I didn't get a chance to hear it.
It's good. It's a Seven Dust album. Like they really don't change. There's a lot more electronics, like more synths in there. Lots of syncopated riffs, big grooves. LeJean Witherspoon, still like one of my favorite vocalists. He's absolutely incredible. And I mean, he was even saying this as like, yeah, I feel like as I get older, I feel like I get more confident and stronger singing. I was like, well, I mean, you've been good at it since like '97. So
I've always had a soft spot for Seven Dust. Like they kind of helped me get into metal as well. The song "Driven." Oh my god, that song's fucking awesome.
I've been a fan since the first one. So I mean, they always have a soft spot. Have you jammed the new Dod Heemsgaard?
Dot Heemsgaard, yeah, medium current black.
Black Medium.
That's what it's called.
Black
Yeah,
Medium.
I heard that was really good.
That is a strange album, but
Isn't
really
that's like
good.
prog black metal weirdness?
oh, dude, like it shifts around all over the place. I don't know. That one's got a chance of being on my list. Downfall of Gaia I thought was really good too.
I heard. I listened to the new Insomnium out when that came out, and holy
Good.
shit, that one's
That was
good.
pretty good.
The prog death metal has really been kind of the talk of the town that around that time period when Insomnium and then Enslaved, or no,
And
not
Neoblivious
Enslaved.
Scars. I really like that.
Yeah, I heard
Neoblivious
Neoblivious Scars.
I like that one. Drain, Living Proof. I like that. There's been a lot of hardcore oriented stuff that's come out that I've gotten into. Like, have you jammed End Rain? End Rain. It's essentially like a super group. You got guys from fucking All Out War, Misery Index, Pig Destroyer.
Jesus.
Jeez.
God, who else? There's some other dudes in there. Like it's metallic hardcore with like bits of black metal and crossover thrash, and it's just vicious. It's vicious. It doesn't like you, and it wants to see you hurt.
Honestly, like again, this year's been very strong. Like the only album that I wouldn't say I full on hate, but was merely disappointment was the new In Flames album. I was just so disappointed in that album.
It was bait and switch, motherfuckers.
It
Yeah.
was. It really
No,
was.
No, because those singles sounded so fucking good, and then it was like they didn't know what they wanted to do.
New
It was
Evil.
like,
New
yeah.
Evil was a huge disappointment for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, what was?
The new
Evil.
Evil.
I actually like that album. I dug it. Like, okay, is it like the Black Album?
Oh,
Sure,
yes.
but look,
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was more doom laden in some ways. Like Monolith, I love that song.
I mean,
Yes,
like,
okay.
as I even said in my review, it's like half of the album's good to great, and then the other half was like, eh.
there's a period where they kind of get in that
second half kind of tails off a little bit.
like
You guys are
mid-90s
thrash.
metal sort of tropes in there. The thrashier tracks were good, but I was like, dude, where the fuck was this energy earlier? Because fuck, I'm bored. And
then on top of that, it's like as good as those thrashy tracks were musically, I still felt like Ole's vocals on the thrash tracks. He sounded like a gruff pop punk vocalist.
Yeah, I think he did better vocally on this one. He's still kind of struggling with it, like
trying to get it right. Yeah,
I miss Matt Drake in there too. Like Ole's great at writing riffs. He's great. His
And
lead
solos.
work is scorching. I love listening to his lead work, but yeah, vocally he doesn't quite have the presence that Matt had. Yeah.
Yeah, besides that, I really haven't been really disappointed by anyone. I mean, new Metallica, but that's kind of like a mono Metallica.
I still haven't heard it, and it's just too daunting.
Just to me, it's
so
just
long.
too long for what they're going for.
74 minutes. I mean, it's a long listen, and
it's a long listen, but it's good.
It doesn't
good
It's
album.
not bad.
that
It's
long.
just middle of the road for me.
Like it's been kind of my issue with like recent Metallica is like, man, like you didn't need to carry this measure like 8 times. You could have done it 4.
Dude, since Load, they've all been 75 plus minutes. Like it's too long.
It's I mean, there's good songs in it.
Oh yeah.
Like the first half is really good, and then
that trails off a little bit until near the end.
I like the last track being more doom laden and kind of stonery. I like that song.
That was my issue with Hardwired too.
Same with You Must Burn. I love that because it was kind of Sabbathy a little bit.
Yeah.
Plus, I just love that bridge riff. That I just love that riff.
I really loved Room of Mirrors only because it reminded me of Merciful.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Have you guys
it's like I don't like it as much as Hardwired or even Death Magnetic, but it's still solid.
Death Magnetic's all right. Like
Death Magnetic, I brought it up earlier when he showed it off.
I would take it over the Black Album.
I disagree, but I will say Death Magnetic I feel like would have been more appreciated had the production not been so bad.
Yes.
Yeah,
I really like Death Magnetic, but yeah,
I
turned down that master just a little bit, Rick. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Because admittedly, the songs on there are absolutely fantastic. Like Data Never Comes. I love it because it's essentially a proper continuation to 1.
My Apocalypse is
All Nightmare Long.
Yeah,
All Nightmare Long is the best song on there.
Yes,
All Nightmare
that's
Long
a good
was
one.
great.
That's a good one.
And I don't care.
Like
I
the
still
opening
love
track
Unforgiven
too.
3.
That was just your life.
No more Unforgiven sequels. We're done. No more.
Hey, just leave it at the trilogy. Don't do the 4th.
The first one's the best, and then the other 2. Actually, you know what? It kind of runs like the Matrix trilogy. Well, no, there was a 4th movie they made, but fuck that movie too. Yeah, the first Matrix is awesome. It's fucking killer. Then the other 2 exist. And that's all the nice things I have to say about them. It's like, yeah, cool fight choreography. What the fuck is going on? why does this look like this is filmed inside of a glass full of fucking olives? Like this was the pickle juice fucking filter for this entire movie, and nothing's going on. Like, why is there so much shit going on and nothing's interesting? Like, dear God, just I saw the second one in theaters. Like, I want to walk out. Oh my God.
It's like watching a Michael Bay movie. There's like so much shit going on, but it feels like nothing's happening.
Yeah, no, it's like I don't even want to, like, as soon as he introduces a character, like, fuck that person. I don't even care. We know why we're here. We just want to see shit explode. We know fucking Michael Bay can't write a script to save his life. He writes scripts like a fucking, I don't know, like a 12-year-old that just saw his first side boob in a movie. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to write all about this, and there will be explosions.
Wait, why are you talking about me?
He's just, oh God, he's such a terrible director. But yeah, like those Matrix movies were terrible. But yeah, that's how I feel about the Unforgiven trilogy. First one, golden. Fuck the other two.
I will say this: at least 2 had something to do with the first one, but 3 has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but I didn't
because it didn't have the same intro. But tonally, I thought the third one was closer to the first one because the structure, at least on the third one, feels like a continuation. Number one, where because I love how Lars, back whenever I watched the Behind the Music, not Behind the Music, what the fuck was it? VH1's classic albums for the Black Album, when he was talking about how whenever they did Fade to Black, Sanitarium, and One, how they would do the melodic verse and a heavy chorus. He was like, how about we do something different, like a heavy verse and a melodic chorus, see how it goes. And I think it was done pretty well. So, whereas Unforgiven 2, I like Unforgiven 2, but I just like the uniqueness of the first one in terms of how it was put together. Because 2, they kind of went back to the melodic verse and a heavy chorus. And I was like,
country
it was fine, but
yeah, that didn't work for me. I don't know.
Speaking of James, it was his birthday, like what, a few days ago?
Yeah.
The dude's now 60.
And he looks great, and he sounds arguably the best he's ever sounded.
I mean, I don't know. That's the Black. I think that's because I think the best he ever sounded was honestly probably "And Justice for All." Like that's
his voice got
powerful,
rougher
in there.
Yeah, his voice has gotten gruffer, but he can hit high notes again, which is something I don't think he's done since Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning.
Well, I mean, those were more shrieked. Like I'm those first 2 albums in particular, like he had a lot of and that,
that's
that
because
was definitely
he was younger. He was
he was 20.
He was like 20, 21 at that point.
Yeah, but here lately, I mean, he's doing good. He's doing good working within his range. He's not trying too hard, like the Saint Anger stuff, where he was like you could hear his voice breaking.
Yeah,
but of course you can hear the band breaking.
That album was a disaster.
Yeah. I think I still own Some Kind of Monster too. I remember buying it.
The documentary.
This is a cringe buffet.
Which I will say, I'm going to keep saying this, so I can't say it no more. Saint Anger is not as terrible as a lot of people say nowadays. Back then, absolutely, it's trash. But I have a
nowadays there have been far worse shit to come out since that it makes Saint Anger look like Master of Reality or something.
God, man, I can't think of anything.
I'm going to agree with Levi with this. The only terrible things about it is, one, it's way too long. It's
too long, the production's bad, and no solos.
Yeah, but I mean, even the songs, they aren't.
Yeah, Invisible Kid. The lyrics are that song.
Invisible Kid is such a fucking awful song.
It is. That's like literally.
Invisible Kid doesn't know what he did. Fucking.
That's
blah,
literally
blah, blah.
the one Metallica song I absolutely hate. Whereas others, I'm like,
They try.
Shoot Me Again is terrible too.
Oh, I
mean, it's got some catchy riffs, but lyrically, it's like what?
I don't even like the title track.
I love
Yeah,
the
the
title.
title
Okay,
track,
title
dude,
track is
Purify.
good. But
Can't
I think-
you help me?
They just repeat
The
it.
beginning of Sweet Amber might be the lone moment on the album where I'm like,
That's a
this
good
is all
riff.
right.
That's a catchy
There
riff.
are some good riffs on that song, and All Within My Hands had some thrashy parts that I like, but other than that,
Oh, that song's so fucking repetitive. They repeat
is
it,
repetitive,
what,
but-
14 times? Jesus.
It's
Kill,
yeah,
kill,
yeah.
especially
it's-
the ending, it's like, yeah, you could have just left it be.
Hey,
But-
Frantic's a good song, Josh. I
Frantic
don't
is
care.
fine. It's silly, but
I was just playing the riff. It's all right.
Were you pissing riffs?
but like I said,
No.
I mean, yeah, Saint Anger, bad. But there have been far worse albums that come out before and after.
well,
I
like,
don't-
Catharsis.
I'd honestly take Saint Anger over Load and Reload. Sue me. Because at least
I
Saint
would
Anger
take it
didn't
over
bore
load,
me.
but not reload.
I own all three and I don't listen to them.
It's
I
just
still-
Load,
I still
It sounds
jam
really
stuff.
good that
did
way.
nothing for me.
I still will jam stuff off of Load and Reload. Particularly like I did that video where if I took songs from each album and just made it into one, I picked what I thought were the best from each. I
I've
still
probably
say
on that.
I
Bleeding
still
Me.
say yeah, Bleeding Me I love. Where the Wild Things Are, I will say the
That is
most
a really damn
underrated
good song.
Metallica song
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, it's pretty underrated.
That's very Alice in Chainsy. Even that vocal harmony with Hetfield and Newstead towards in the bridge, that is so cool.
That's
And the
Lane Stanley
bass line
right,
there.
right over there.
That Jason's doing. And even Lars is doing some clever fills, like clever atmospheric fills on that song.
I mean, we all know Dave Ellison's favorite Metallica album is obviously Load. I mean, come on. And then Reload afterwards.
Oh god.
But no, like there's
Do you
still
have time for
songs
the
from those
reload?
albums I'll get into, even though I don't listen to the albums as a whole as much as I used to when I was growing up. But still, there's some gems in there.
I mean, there was enough other stuff to listen to this year. I mean, I'm still playing catch up in terms of new releases.
I think I was the only one out of all of us that listened to the new Anthem album. I love that album.
Yeah, you were definitely
Crimson
the
and
lone
Jet
one
Black.
on that.
I mean, Nick, you probably won't get into them, but they're a Japanese Judas Priest. That's
Oh, I know.
literally all there.
I've never really been into them.
I like them. The vocals are kind of hard to get into if you're not really big into like those
high
kind of
register vocals.
Yeah, but dude, like the instrumentation and the percussion, top notch.
I will say the biggest surprise album for me, that new Cloak album.
Which one?
The new Cloak, Black Flame Eternal.
I gotta pick
That
that
is
one up.
so good. Gothic black metal done so well. Basically like if Tribulation was a black metal band.
I love that new EP though. That cover of Vengeance the Pact. It's perfect.
And what's cool about with the new Cloak, Nick, that I think you might like, it's like musically it has some similarities to Tribulation, also a little bit of Dissection. Vocally, it reminds me a lot of Dave Davidson from Revocation.
I have their previous two albums. I just got to order it. I didn't get around to reviewing that one just because time constraints.
Yeah.
But-
That is up there for like maybe top 10, top 15 for me.
I mean, this.
I need to pick it. I need to get all of Cloak's stuff because that was a band that one of my old podcast co-hosts, Hannah from Germany, she sent me a link to their previous one, and I never got around to listening to it. But then whenever I saw they had a new one coming out, it's like, okay, I'm going to give this band a shot. And I'm like, why didn't I check these guys out sooner? I feel stupid.
I mean, there's a lot. New Gorod, I think, is awesome.
It's pretty good.
Godflesh's newest album is back to the Godflesh that I initially fell in love with.
I still
really
need to get
enjoyed the
used
new
to.
Ahab
I still need to
album. I
get
didn't
used
think
to
I
the
was going to.
repetition on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've been listening to Godflesh for that's kind of like back to like the early stuff, like Pure and Street Cleaner. It is a lot of repetition, but it's droning, it's claustrophobic and dark.
Oh, actually, another surprise: the new Mesro album,
I don't know if I know that one.
Swedish thrash. Basically, it's like old Metallica meets Testament. It's so good. It's only their second album. It was their first one in 32 years. Like they had a debut called "Then Came to Killing." It's actually reissued on Hammerhard Records if you ever decide to pick it up.
Hammerheart does a good job with their reissues. It picked up.
It's a really good reissue, and it has the demos of the band from the late 80s. And it's like you hear the original demos, not the best, but they remastered the demos, and the demo tracks sound really good.
Have you jammed?
This new one with Mesro, Summon Thy Demons. Oh my god, I did not expect. Like I was like, okay, I'll check this out. It's a thrash band. I saw they were compared to Testament. It's like this might be pretty good. Might be one of my favorite thrash albums of the year. To be fair,
I'm Enforced.
Enforced would probably be
That's my favorite
thrash
thrash album of the year. I knew War Remains was going to be great just by what was the first single that they put out? Oh, the Ultraviolence or Ultraviolence. Oh,
yeah.
Oh no. Well, wait, we're talking about Enforced.
Yeah, no, I accidentally said the Ultraviolence, but that was the song that was on War Remains, Ultraviolence.
Yeah, Killgrid was amazing too.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to listen to that one.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
That new Raven album. Holy
yeah, that was a
shit,
surprise
that was a
too. I
great
love
album.
that album.
Honestly,
So fun.
One of my big surprises. Well, I mean, I knew they were good, but in terms of getting the kind of that old level, the last Memoriam album.
Oh
That was pretty
yes,
good, too.
That is the closest they have been to Bull Thrower. Like it's.
I would agree. Yeah.
What was the album called again? I forgot.
Rise to Power.
Rise to Power. That's right. Yeah, dude, I really dug that album.
New Mutoid
Oh,
Man. New Mutoid Man fucking rules.
What was it?
I heard that was really good.
The new Sermon album of Golden Verse. That was an unexpected one too. I actually just got that recently on CD.
I got the first one. Well, that's in the collection update that's coming. Spoiler. Yeah, I got the first one too. I've been jamming the shit of Golden Verse for a while. Like it occupies some cool territory, dude. Fucking Jamie Stewart's drum performance on there, is exhausting.
Yeah,
like,
especially that
almost
final
a
track.
Consistent fucking tribal pattern.
Especially that final track, also with the blast beats.
Oh, dude, I love the soaring vocals over the blasts too. Like that's just fucking awesome.
Another surprise one I liked, Cruachan, The Living and the Dead.
Let's see, I only have one of their albums, and I really wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah, definitely Blackened Folk is definitely something. But what I liked about this Cruachan album is they were also able to mix in a lot of Iron Maiden in there.
I mean, honestly,
and even a couple of tracks have a little bit of a death metal pattern. Like there was one song where it's like, am I hearing Morbid Angel right now?
I mean, if you listen to like Iron Man, there's a lot of folky patterns to their guitar harmonies. So that sort of thing, it already kind of works. Like, because they kind of took a lot of the stuff that Thin Lizzy was doing forever ago. So let's just make it like a little bit more epic.
And there is a lot of Thin Lizzy with Cruachan after all. Irish band, so there you go.
Did you jam Nothingness? Supraliminal. It's another awesome death metal album that came out this year.
That new Angaraj, Profound Recreant, that was really fucking good too.
I enjoy that new single Sigabog album, Homicide Ecstasy.
That was pretty good too.
It took me a while to realize that was fucking shit. What's his name from fucking Converge?
Oh, Jacob Bannon?
No, guitarist.
Kurt Ballou.
Kurt
Ballou. Yeah, that's a Kurt Ballou production.
Wow.
It sounds because it sounds unlike anything he's ever done.
It just sounds so raw. It feels like sounds like a demo.
I might see them on Sunday actually.
Ooh,
they're coming around my area. So.
Oh yeah, they're doing like a smaller tour, aren't they?
They're with Cruelty and Vomit Forth.
I have seen that logo before.
Yeah, Mesro. So yeah, this is the first one. Then Came to Killing, and then the new one, Summon Thy Demons.
Have you jammed Cruelty with a K?
Oh, I saw your review. I haven't.
Is that the Japanese death grind band?
It's so goddamn heavy. It's like the heaviest hardcore. It's metallic hardcore, but there's definitely death metal to it.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of
That
something
the
else.
most recent
Never mind.
Vomit Fourth album. I see what you mean about the production.
Dude, and well, we saw
It's
him
so
live,
blown
and he had
out.
an entirely different lineup. Like it's only the singer I think that's left from that album. Everyone else left the band or was yeeted, and he had a whole new lineup, and they sounded good. Like all the stuff that they wrote for that album sounded really good live. It sounded so much better live. And I was like, man, dude, if I got a chance to talk to these guys, like, listen, we shit on your album mainly because it sounded awful and it was a little repetitive. But, dude, what the hell? Like, that's fucking Arthur Risk that did, like, I think the mastering on that, too. And that dude's production is fucking generally just.
I love Martha Risk's production.
He's
those
been all
Cavalier
over the
reissues.
place, it feels like.
Thanks to Power Trip,
Yeah, dude. Power
Those
Trip.
Cavalera re-recordings are
Eternal
really good.
Champion. Hell, he's the guitarist of Eternal
I
Champion.
will say, I do prefer like the charm of the originals, but the re-recordings are great.
Those are the ones I grew up on. And, I mean, I started with Arise for Sepultura, so that's
Me too.
the
Arise
my
and
favorite.
Chaos AD.
I'm the most nostalgic for. But I appreciate, Bestial Devastation and Morbid Visions for what they were. Like, they were kind of setting a precedence. And there's that whole saying, never be first. And there's a reason, because someone else is going to take what you did and kind of build upon it and kind of wash out the mistakes.
And, funny enough, Boss earlier, when we brought up the new Cavalier re-recordings of Morbid Visions and such, we kind of compared it to like Sodom Obsessed by Cruelty a little bit, where it's kind of the same situation.
Yeah.
Like bad
But
production, but it's got charm.
Well, the guitars were out of tune. Drums were occasionally off time. Like his drum kit was essentially a Frankenstein of what he could afford,
Yeah.
But they had a chance to go back with the same viciousness, but just, they're tighter musicians. They're more seasoned. And fucking Max sounds vicious on there.
Oh yeah. Even them high notes he was doing on like Funeral Rites.
Oh, I have
Crap.
jammed the living fuck out of those reissues since I got them.
I still need to get them. Maybe if
Those
I
new
remind myself
songs are
next
really cool,
Amazon order, I'm getting.
Well, technically, from what I heard, they're not actually new songs. They were songs that they had as kids, but they never recorded them.
Oh,
Like,
right.
They were kind of dicking around with them. They were kind of half songs, and they had a chance. Like, yeah, you want to just kind of finish these? And
Sure.
yeah, dude, we got put in the fucking liner notes again by Max. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
are you
that's crazy.
crazy, dude.
Dude,
So-
Max is the man.
I'm so blown away by that.
Yeah,
I'll
I would
forever
be
be
too.
blown away by that.
Yeah.
The
But,
day if the day ever comes where a band that I've become close friends with puts me in the liner notes, I would probably have a heart attack.
I mean, we know Pixie. We know Pixie, Lemonade Butterfly.
Yeah, Pixie. Well, she's okay. So Nick, who we're talking about, Pixie. She's a friend of mine who's married to the frontman of the band Hellwitch, and they released a new album this year. It was decent.
I think I've heard of them, but there's a lot of bands with witch and hell in it. So,
Well, Hellwitch, they were kind of like an early Florida death metal, death thrash band, like kind of like an early tech death band a little bit, but definitely thrashy. Kind of like Piece of Time by Atheist, kind of in that vein. The vocals are definitely an acquired taste, though. I will preface. His vocals, it took me a bit to get used to him, but the music for Hellwitch, it's mostly thrash with occasional tech death parts, but it's still good music. It's just, definitely the vocals, and even his wife, Pixie, tells me that she had kind of the same issue, like she had to grow to love her husband's vocals.
I love you, except for like this right here. This I'd love you more.
For what it's worth, I'll
He
put
doesn't-
you guys in the new Morticide album booklet.
Just 2 more months.
The Ocean. I don't know if you've jammed
I
Holocene.
think I did. Let me
Vastly different than anything they've put out. It is way more chill, a lot more sense, but heavy. Got heavy in the subject matter. Like when you get into the lyrics and shit, man, it touches on a lot of current notes.
Yeah, I did check out The Ocean. That was a really good one too.
Very dark, but again, like it's not like super heavy at all. Like, I mean, there's heavier moments on it, but a lot of it is mood and atmosphere. And I might have had like some non-metal ones on there because I
heard
the new Queens of the Stone Age.
I heard the new Foo Fighters was really good.
It is very heartfelt, and man, like
Yeah.
you know exactly what he's talking about. I was like, oh man,
Mhm.
oh, that stings.
Dave
to
plays the
think,
drums
too,
on it, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
And to think too that they went as heavy as they ever could be on that Dream Widow self-titled album, which I still need to listen
That
to.
album
That was-
rips, dude.
Dude, that album
And,
rips.
and the
that album
thing, and
whoops
the
There's
thing,
a fucking CD version of it. I've seen it on vinyl already.
and
wanna
to
see
think
it.
that didn't they do Studio 666 before Taylor's passing?
Yeah, well, that was all. I believe that was all Dave Grohl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And then to hear that all of a sudden Taylor, I'm like, wait, what? Because my dad, he grew up on the Foo Fighters. Like he was in a band for like years, but they were like mainly doing like club gigs and all that stuff. We were doing a charity one time, and they were playing "There Goes My Hero," or they'll play the Pretender. Like they'll just jam the Foo Fighters until the sun rises, basically. Like they love Dave Grohl. I'm like, who doesn't? He was good friends with Lemmy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, another one that really blew me away. I don't know if any of you guys have heard this band, Rise to the Sky.
I've heard
Chile.
of them.
It's a one-man Chilean death doom project,
Mm.
and it's like sometimes borders on funeral doom. It's so dark. And this album, Sergio, his name. I first heard of him because Ricky Horror Master, because he's the big death doom freak, mostly melodic death doom. But
He's a Death Doom simp.
yeah, he bought some Rise to Sky albums from his Bandcamp, and I heard this new one, 2 Years of Grief, which was part of like a series of albums that was all based on a concept all about grief. And it's like, it's more than just a slow atmospheric death doom. There's some black metal in there too. It's so good.
I don't know for this year.
And he does it all himself, production and instruments.
In terms of this
really
year
good.
for Death Doom, man, Static Abyss.
Yes, I need to get that too.
I love Chris Ryford.
I do
Like,
too.
dudes, and the fact I feel like I got like bonus autopsy with more atmosphere because Greg Wilkinson, man, what an addition. Because Deathgrave, that new album might have a chance to be on my list too because fucking fantastic.
I need to check that out.
Spirit Possession was another one that I really got into. Surprisingly, my big surprise, and it probably won't make my year-end list, but I enjoyed it. The Last Suicide Silence. Like
That was
I still need to
actually
check
that was
that
actually
out.
good. Yeah.
riffy and
I don't care for them.
good. I mean, honestly, I don't like them either. Really, like most of their stuff, I don't even like the Mitch stuff. And I know that's like sacrilege to like the old school deathcore fans. Like, what the fuck? He was the greatest thing. I was like,
He was the greatest vocalist
I
of
saw
all
Tons
time.
of Mitch, and they sucked. They were awful. They were
What-
opening.
what
for
year?
Carcass.
What year?
There would have been 2007
Oh, okay.
or 8. I'd have
So I
to
was
go.
gonna
Not
say,
long
like,
after
in
the
his like
debut.
before he passed, his vocals kind of he lost like the lows. They became more mids, and the highs weren't as good. Well,
He didn't-
I
he
think.
didn't sound good, but neither did the band. The band itself that sounded sloppy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was Carcass's first reunion tour. They had Nathaniel Erlandson on drums, and Michael Amott was actually on this tour too. So, yeah, I think it was 2007, maybe 8.
Yeah, that
It
was
was.
sound about right.
I mean, well, Carcass was absolutely amazing, but
Actually, really quick, I just found this out. Michael Lamont was actually in Candlemass for a little bit.
Yeah, live, I think.
yeah,
He was on an album too. I think it was Chapter 6.
So that's one I don't have.
I still need to get a lot of Candlemass. Like I got the first 4, Epicus to Tales of Creation.
I think
New Torture.
No, I think
that New Torture Act was really good too. What the fuck?
I really enjoyed that new Catatonia album. I really like it.
Yeah, I need to get that Catatonia. I still need to get more Catatonia. I only have the first 2 right now.
This feels so catchy and so bummery. Like it is pure fucking sad boy music. Like rainy days only. The sun.
I thought not gonna lie, the first track, I don't know why I got huge alternative metal vibes. I thought this was.
Oh, they got some in there. It's gothy, gloomy. It's not. I mean, it's a metal album, but it also can work as just like a heavy rock album too. I don't know. It's just catchy. Did you jam either one of the Ulthar albums that dropped? Amphronomicon and Helionomicron, whatever.
I don't think so. No.
Excellent black and death metal, like more riffs than you can handle.
I listened to the new Crypta album. That was fucking awesome.
Dude, the new
I still love the new Unearth was awesome too.
One of the best of their fucking career. And I love the Oncoming Sword and In the Eyes of Fire. Like those are like in terms of like metalcore, like top tier albums for me.
The new Hell Ripper.
I love. New Hell Ripper might be my favorite.
That's my album of the year. And I was so fucking close to be a part of you in that interview with James. I was so damn close that I had to work, or I was so busy that day.
Yeah, Ricky and I had to carry the boat through that.
I really like I don't know if it'll be on my list just because it's a collection of re-recordings. But I really like the new Voivod Morgoth Tales.
I thought that was an album. I didn't know that was just
I looked at the track list and I saw it was re-recording. It's like, I can review.
We kind of went all through the timeline and just picked a track. And generally kind of some like good deep cuts too. But I mean, of course, like there's some
kind of like what Sodom did last year with their 4 Years at War compilation, which I did like that.
Well, they only re-recorded stuff that was with Piggy. Like they didn't touch any of the stuff that was more recent. So
it was more or less a tribute to him in some ways.
Essentially, I mean, Chewy's an amazing guitarist. That dude.
Yeah, Daniel
Mongrain. Yeah, I watched him do like some Death covers and fucking play. Might have been the Trapped in a Corner solo.
And also was in Gorguts From Wisdom to Hate.
And Martyr, which I need to get some Martyr. Even John knows that one. I
love this album cover. It's such a great meeting of the two mascots. The gas masks killing the fucking medieval knight.
Dude,
probably the most clever cover they ever made.
I love their re-recording of Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, I actually really like the re-recording of After the Deluge from Obsessed by Cruelty. Such a good version.
Oh, I mean, when I did my Sodom ranking, I swore either Persecution Mania or the Ancient Orange, or I thought Tapping the Vein was going to be my favorite.
It was definitely between those three for me, but Persecution Mania won out by a bit.
Persecution Mania, Agent Orange, and Tapping the Vein, pretty far up there. I like M16 too.
That's my favorite. Dude, Cannon Fodder has one of my favorite drum intros. That
War and Pieces, I think, is really underrated too. That one kind of gets overlooked. The
even the last two, I would say, get kind of overlooked too. Genesis 19.
Decision Day really went back to the black metal in some ways in terms of the vocals. Like Tom got really
he got raspier. Yeah.
I mean, that happens with age anyway. Anyone else check out the new Willhaven? I mean, if you like, well, I don't know. It depends on how you feel about Deftones because they're kind of similar, except way more hardcore. Like like Deftones collabing with Neurosis with like all harsh vocals. It's dense and ugly. It's more sludge metal. You ever heard of the band 16? The sludge
That
metal?
name sounds familiar.
Similar to that, except just, I don't know, it's just relentlessly heavy and dark and just, I don't know. I dig the fuck out of it.
Oh yeah, another one of my favorite thrash albums, the new Overkill.
Yes, I love that new Overkill.
The day
album.
I have to rank that is going to be even difficult, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to rank them next year.
Are they the only thrash act to have 20 albums?
Probably.
Like Sodom's getting up there, Sepultura's getting up there. Yeah, I think
Overkill's the only thrash band with 20
Megadeth
or
too.
more. Megadeth's getting
there.
close, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, 20 albums. Holy shit,
I
dude.
mean,
You want to talk about a
hardest
band
working thrash band ever.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Bobby Blitz has had a fucking stroke on stage.
And he sounds exactly the same as he did back in the day. He does not age. We must protect Bobby Blitz at all
We
costs.
must protect Bobby Blitz.
And Dee Verney, the best finger-picking bass player ever.
Yeah, I mean, and we got fucking
Jason Bittner.
Jason Bittner too.
Oh, dude, he fucking killed on drums.
Oh yeah.
He still does.
He never fucks up really when it comes to drum. Whether it's Shadows Fall, Flotsam and Jetsam, Live, Anthrax, Overkill, he can do it all.
Yeah,
hell of a drummer. I've seen some of his old Twitch streams when he was streaming on Twitch a couple of years ago, and yeah, that was killer. We actually had a conversation in his chat about like how funny is it that he's in Overkill and he was like this giant fanboy of theirs for so many years. Like, yeah, I own every record and I still buy them on that Get Thrash documentary.
That new Obituary album.
I love that new Obituary album so much.
Dude, that last track on there with that stupid doomy bend and that fucking
essentially Obituary's Death Doom song.
Ugh.
They really went back to Slowly Rerot.
Slowly Rot, Cause of Death a little bit.
I don't know, like I really like that self-titled, but I don't know. There are elements I like with this new one a little bit more, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They're both good.
The new Ahab, I thought was a and I'm not even a big Funeral Doom fan, but I really like that new Ahab.
Well, they do a lot.
Vocals were quite sullen.
Yeah, sometimes they were a little bit off, but for the most part, I thought they were really good. But their theming and the atmosphere and how it all ties together. Like, I mean, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is one of my favorite movies, like in terms of Disney shit. Like I grew up on that shit, so I got a soft spot for that.
I didn't consider that really Funeral Doom. I honestly, in my personal opinion, I consider more melodic Death Doom. Like,
I don't know, like
it definitely teetered.
I felt it was closer to like esoteric, like just in terms of style, and that's definitely Funeral Doom. Like it has that slow plodding pace. Death Doom, like I expect like some more mid-tempo stuff. Like, like Hooded Menace is slow, murky, and evil for the most part. Like, not counting the last album, because that was actually a little bit faster than I expected. But
a little more classic metal inspired.
But yeah, generally, like if you go back to like Never Cross the Dead, like it's
Effigies
slow
of Evil
and murky, but you get these like good like kind of bouncy grooves every now and then, like very Sabbathy.
Or even occasional like Maiden gallops.
Ahab is slow. It's slowly sinking to the bottom of the ocean, and then getting devoured by some creature, ripped apart.
Perfect.
Well, not gonna lie, when you said esoteric, I thought you were gonna. I was thinking of Esoteric Warfare by
the Mayhem album.
Mayhem.
No.
And I'm not a big fan of that album.
Like, I think every album but one of theirs is a 2-disc affair. Or more. Their songs are long as fuck.
I'll have to go into Mayhem one day, only because of the whole story. That's literally
that was pretty much when I did my ranking. Half the video was talking about the backstory of the early days while I was sick.
Literally, that's the only thing the band's really noticeable for. It's like
suicide, murder, dudes in jail, kind of, well, no, not kind of, just a giant piece of shit. His other band's trash. Okay,
Yeah.
on to the albums.
Bathory ripoff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I've been.
How does Varg have a wife and children?
I don't
I don't know. All of his kids look like Euronymous, though.
Oh, hopefully he doesn't go Chris Benoit on them. I'll say that.
Oh God, no.
Ooh.
Mm-mm.
No, he's God, scumbag human being. Like,
And yet
literally
I'm still a virgin. I'll
Nothing.
admit
nothing cool about him.
No, nothing cool about Varg at all.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go grab a smoke. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm
Alrighty.
actually going to head out because I got to get up in the morning. So
All right,
see
so
you
it'll be
guys.
down to 3.
All right.
Hopefully, Crypt will get in
See ya.
before too long. Let me actually see if he's okay, because I haven't heard from him in about an hour. But anyway, so Josh,
Yeah.
you watched SummerSlam?
No, I haven't really. I mean, I sort of keep up with WWE, but I don't really watch it anymore.
Yeah. Well, it was actually a pretty good show for the most part.
Yeah.
Like every match besides one was pretty good to great. I would say.
Now,
like,
do you think they're gonna have Gunther beat the Honky Tonk Streak?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he beat Drew at SummerSlam, he's gonna keep the belt through. At
He's
least
only got like a
mid-September.
month left, I think.
Yeah, he's only got like 5-6 weeks left to go.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, no one more deserving. No
Yeah,
one
he's
more
been
deserving.
killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much almost every title defense has been a good to an outstanding match. And that match with Drew was no different. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite match on the whole card. Even though Logan Paul Ricochet, that was really entertaining. Like, they were doing like tributes to The Rock, Hulk Hogan, some cool little athletic spots. Like, it was a really fucking
Logan
good
Paul's
opener.
actually, yeah, he's been.
He's
looking
really
pretty
good. Say
for
what you
myself.
will about him as a human being, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
which, I mean, I look at this shit, it's like, he was young. He probably regrets all that shit now. And from his interviews I've seen, he seems like a nice guy. Like the interview I watched with him and Seth Rollins, they were just having a blast. But besides that, like, people can say what they will about Logan Paul, but you can't deny the guy gets pro wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
he takes it serious. He's not like the old celebrities who would just come in and be like, what's this? No, he'll work for it.
Yeah. Bad Bunny was pretty solid too, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people say they want to see a Logan Paul Bad Bunny match. It's like, if you do that, you'd have to make it a tag match, because as good as they both are, neither one of them's gotten to the point of leading a match yet. That would be
Yeah.
the caveat. You would need one of them to lead, and I don't think they're good enough yet to lead Psychology. So if they were to have a match against one another, it'd have to be a tag where they can have two guys they can lean on to lead everything. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I feel like Roman's going to keep that belt until WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And I think they'll give it to Cody. I think they're trying to tell the story with Cody. It's like, yeah, they didn't give it to him at Mania this year because I feel like had they done that, fans probably would have turned on Cody, and they don't want that to happen.
I think it would have been too soon. Like, he needs that loss.
Yeah, he needed that loss to kind of get him back on the path in this feud with Brock that he had. Granted, we never knew the real reason why Brock attacked him. Maybe now after they shook hands and hugged and Brock gave him the props, raising his arm, maybe he does, like, is Cody ready for this spot? Maybe he attacked him to test his will. They could maybe say, like, he beat him up to test his will and toughness, see if he can be the one to beat Roman. And I think after that match at SummerSlam, which that was a great match too, best match those two had in their trilogy. And like after the match, and apparently it was all not scripted. Brock,
I heard that. Yeah,
he's like telling the referee, "Don't worry." The big stare down push, and then the handshake, the big hug, and raising his hand, and then the high five in the crowd. Because I think that's it for Brock for this year. I don't think he'll come back till Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So he's going to take some time off, which he's earned it because other than Money in the Bank, he worked every show this year so far, which, wow. But yeah, with Roman, yeah, Mania 40 to Cody. But I think they'll do it by having Cody win an Elimination Chamber, because I think Gunther's winning the Rumble and beat whoever's going to be the world champion by WrestleMania. Because I think Rollins, it could be Rollins by then, but I don't know. Now that they turned Nakamura heel by attacking Rollins, I think maybe Nakamura might get that belt now.
Yeah. I was going to say...
It's interesting. It is interesting right now,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was going to say, man, Gunther looked so good in the last Royal Rumble. I wouldn't have been mad if he won.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if he won, even though we all knew Cody would win. But
Right,
still, the best final two in Rumble match history, even better than Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and that was amazing. But yeah, because of that story of Gunther just chopping the hell out of Cody's chest with that peck, it was like, oh. So, and I still watch that Rumble match over and over. I honestly am starting to have the belief that that might be the best Royal Rumble match in 22 years, since 2001. And I don't think I've watched any Royal Rumble match more than 2001 than this year's. Just because, like, all the moments, perfect. Like the Brock Lashley stuff, the Logan Paul, Seth Rollins stuff, Gunther's domination, Cody's return, fucking Michael Cole calling Dominic, this kid is an absolute piece of shit. And Corey Graves didn't stop him in time. You clearly heard him say piece of shit.
Wow.
And Pat McAfee on commentary helped.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm trying to remember everything else about that Rumble match that I loved. Sheamus and Drew did the long distance. Johnny Gargano getting some shine.
Yeah. I wish Karrion Kross did a little bit more than he did.
Yeah, he got eliminated second, but you needed some shock eliminations. Oh, yeah, and then Gunther and Brock stare down.
Yeah.
Oh, part of me hopes that in the lead up to WrestleMania next year, if Gunther wins the Rumble, please let me have a match between Gunther and Brock, and Gunther beats the shit out of Brock as a way to get Gunther ready to become world champion at WrestleMania. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because after all, if people go back and watch that match and they see the moment Brock and Gunther lock eyes, the crowd went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And even like they both were smiling at each other like, is this really happening right now? Like Brock smiled like, and Gunther with a, like, this is fucking cool. And then you get the stare down and Gunther towers over Brock. That was a pretty cool moment. Made me wish that could have been a match at WrestleMania 39, but hopefully it'll happen one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be a good match for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that freaking suplexes versus the chops. Ooh,
yeah,
that's gonna be a barn burner of a Haas match. Meanwhile, I was trying to remember something else now. I'm starting to think eventually with this Judgment Day story, I'm thinking because of how they've been teasing this tension between Balor and Priest, and also Balor talking with JD McDonough, makes me think that they're probably going to kick Priest out and put JD in the group eventually, because maybe they could build the story that Balor's getting tired of Priest shit, and then all of Judgment Day attack him, and JD joins in. Like, maybe they could do to where JD's coming out and breaking up, like, stop.
yeah.
Because that's been a rumor for a while.
That guy, didn't he used to be called Jordan Devlin?
Jordan Devlin, yeah.
Okay.
In NXT UK. Before he came over to America, and now is JD McDonough. Which, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Jordan Devlin better.
Yeah. After all, his real name, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what I was talking about earlier with these albums from Mesro, like I said, like when I heard this come out, like I said, I just was going through Metal Archive, see what was coming up for me to check out. I saw this, I was like, okay, thrash metal is my favorite style, even though I listen to others a little bit more nowadays. But seeing their page and they were compared to Testament, it's like, okay, I'm intrigued. I did not expect this to be as amazing as it was. Like the vocals, gritty, but yet a tinge of melody. Lots of like Testament, Metallica, little bit of Exodus, and then the final track even has some like German thrash speed.
I'll have to check that one out. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good. And then going back listening to stuff from this one, definitely a lot more raw, a little more gritty, definitely closer to Testament, like early Testament for sure. Hell, they even have a song called Frozen Soul. 6 years before Asphyx did. So, yeah. Which makes me wonder, where did they get the name from? Was it Mesro or was it Asphyx? Or was it just out of the blue? Probably out of the blue, to be honest.
Might just be a popular theme.
Perhaps.
Frozen anything.
Mayhaps. Let's see. What other albums from this year that I checked out that I really liked?
Surprisingly,
That Birdflesh album. That was fun. I still need to get that.
That was the weirdest review I think we've ever done because it was with Ellis. And he gave us the backstory on each song. All, 26 of them? Yeah, it was hilarious. We have a standing invite to go out to the Czech Republic for Obscene Extreme, which he said, like, dude, it's dirt cheap out there. The most expensive thing you will pay for is the flight out. But everything else, like you said, like the equivalent of like shots out there. If you want to get a shot of liquor, it's like 50 cents.
Wow.
Damn.
Like, dude, I want to get fucking stupid drunk on pocket change.
Yeah.
I guess all the food is vegan, but it said it's all really good. I was like, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then another album I checked out that kind of made me curious was this from Stormhaven, Blindsight. It's a prog death metal band. It sounds very much like old school Opeth, but the only problem I had with it, the clean vocals, they were very inconsistent. Sometimes they were a little bit too high from the key of the guitars, and then there are other times where he got it right. I even brought that up in my review, and the guys in the band totally were like cool about it, and they actually subscribed to my channel. So I was like, okay,
yeah, actually,
that's pretty nice.
We get weirded. Well, it was kind of weird, but I was like, man, I feel like we kind of dogged on this band, but we were seeing them as Summoning the Lich. I forget who they were on tour with, but really good band. It was just like our main gripe was like, dude, y'all sound just like Black Dahlia Murder, like to the point where.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
They're good, and their newer stuff that I've seen so far in terms of their new videos, it's a little bit different. They kind of changed it up a bit, but I was afraid, like when we ran into them, if they recognized us, like, you're guys shit in our album. I was like, well, I mean, like, Kelly's life on it. But no, they were like, he was like, hey, man, first off, we were big fans of the channel. And it's like, yeah, I was like, I mean, yeah, we were, a little critical of your album. I was like, no, actually, you were right. And, we actually kind of took that to heart and addressed it in terms of where we're going. And it was like, yeah. So, I mean, thank you for that. Like, what? I expect to be called a fucking dickhead. But they were super fucking nice, too. Like, really cool dudes. Got the guitarist. First, he's kind of a short, stocky dude, but he's got the old school, fisticuffs mustache.
the bygone mustache.
Yeah. But yeah, super fucking nice dudes. Like, and they were really fucking good live. But yeah, I always worry about that. It's like, man, I kind of shit on this new album. I wonder how they're gonna take it, because I'm sure there's some bands I was like, dude, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
And I kind of worried about that, because the one album I've given a somewhat bad review to this year, that Death Collector album.
Death Collector.
It's a British death metal band. Andrew Whale from Both Rower. It's a new band he has. And I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like they were repeating a lot of the same ideas. Like, lots of double time, D beats with occasional doom sections, but it felt like they just kind of repeated that trope over and over and over and over and over again. And I brought that up in the review, and even a couple of guys were in the comments, and they were totally respectful. So it's like, whew, I fully expected to get shot on for that, but thankfully they were like, hey, maybe it just wasn't your thing, and maybe the next album will be.
When he left
around.
Memoriam, I was kind of wondering, like, well, what's he planning on doing? I mean, if he's doing kind of the same thing, though, I was like, well, all right, why'd you leave Memoriam? I mean, granted, Memoriam's new drummer, I like Andrew Whale, but their new drummer is a step up. I think he's got more in the way of like accents and more like technique, and I think that actually adds a lot to the sound overall. But yeah, like I know full well that I will end up pissing off certain fan bases. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to fuck pandering. Pandering is just terrible.
Yeah,
I went in with high hopes about this new Humanity's Last Breath album, and it was boring. Like, yeah, sonically, it's like one of the heaviest fucking things I have listened to this year. It is terrifyingly heavy, and it sounds apocalyptic as hell, but it kind of repeats the same breakdowns and tropes on every song, and it doesn't flow particularly well. Like, it feels more like a collection of songs rather than an album. Like, you could rearrange any of the tracks, and it would not change anything on there. And naturally, some Uber fanboys fucking what's up, Rick? Yeah, boys fucking chewed me out.
That's all for love right there, Rick.
It's not even Dirty 30 yet. That's coming.
No, I'm 1 year away from that.
That year's gonna go by so fucking quick.
Or it'll go on forever.
I remember when I turned 30.
I don't know.
God, that sucked. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine for you.
I don't know. I'm almost 30 and I still don't drive, which sucks.
Bucket list. Get it done.
I know. But, hey, Rick, if you want to hop on here for a little bit, let me know. Actually, and then a couple other albums that came out the past couple months I really liked. That new Creeping Death album. Holy crap. That was my first time. That was my first time checking them out, and I heard you guys were talking about them over on your channel, and I was like, okay, I got to see what these guys are all about. And
they're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to get the debut, and then that new Outer Heaven, I fucking love too. I actually like the last one that came out, even though I'd say that first one, definitely more doomy, kind of like if hardcore death doom. Whereas like this, they just went like full tilt death metal. Like kind of the doom was gone, some of the hardcore was gone, but still there here.
Very Morbid Angel.
Very much Morbid Angel, and I'll take that. That new Ascended Dead, I thought was perfectly done. Morbid Angel with like Martin Van Drunen vocals, like ah. That's what.
Lovely thought.
My heart pattern. Oh God!
You're gonna make Levi blush.
Oh, God damn it!
It's already happening. That's not the filter.
What the hell are you motherfucking jackasses talking about? What the hell are heart pattern boxers? The only heart pattern boxer I know is the crap my wife wears. I don't know where I'm going with it.
God, I'm trying to think there's still some I haven't picked up that I still got to get a copy of Coffin Mulch.
That one was pretty good. I think
Eternal Rot. I want to get a copy of that. That was a lot of fun.
Eternal Rot was fun.
Gateway.
I would like that album more if I could hear the damn snare. Like the snare sounds buried.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, dude, there's so many layers to that, and all the layers have moss and fungus growing on them.
Yeah, like the riffs and the songs are really good. It's just my biggest gripe about it, and the only gripe that made it go down and score a lot was just I want to be able to hear the snare drum when it hits. That big pound. But it is what it is. I actually do want to get that new Astral Born. I really like that one. After I saw you and Joe check it out, it's like, Okay, I'll give it a listen.
That's the
And
dude
I see
that,
why you guys liked it.
the drummer of that band. That's the guy that was Joe's metal buddy that introduced him to a whole bunch of stuff when Joe was younger. Like he introduced him to Jester Race and Horacle, and that's why like generally when there's a mellow death release, like Joe's the guy I got on call for that one, and black metal. But trying to get John to listen to more black metal, and honestly, he's kind of stoked about going over the new Marduk, which the Marduk tracks that have come out sound fucking vicious. I was not a big fan of Victoria.
Yeah, and I even showed John this Helvier, and I think I haven't heard back from what he said, but I sent him like a couple songs just on the premise that John Rice on drums, and he said, "Oh, I'll listen to anything with John Rice." Oh hell yeah!
That's a good one.
Above my guitars.
Get fiddles. So yeah, no, I painstakingly I did that all by hand too. I didn't like fucking measure anything out. But yeah, I had a whole bunch of these posters were just kind of sitting in a closet. I was like, they need to be fucking like that.
Yeah, I only got.
So one at the top is a goat horse show that they played in a fucking record store here in Toledo for free.
Wow.
Well, as the story goes, so there was a venue here in Toledo called the Omni, and they had booked a show. It was Goat Whore and the Faceless, and I think Veil of Maya. And the Omni got busted for not having a liquor license. So they had to fucking close down the fucking show. The venue was under fucking, penalty. Like Goat Whore was in town still, and I guess the Faceless and Veil of Maya took off for the next date. But Goat Whore contacted my buddy around the record store and say, "Hey, we're looking for a place to put on a free show. We just see if we can recoup some losses by selling merch and shit. Would it be okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." So my buddy around the record store was like, "Listen, I'm going to tell you this, but you can't tell like everyone." I was like, "Okay." Goat Whore's going to play a free show here. Like, oh, how many people can I tell? It was just me and my brother-in-law that went. But of course, everyone in Toledo fucking showed up, and it was in a loft above the record store. We thought the fucking ceiling was going to cave in. I was like, well, this is
God.
But before they could even go on, some old lady hit a fucking electric pole and knocked out power to the building.
Oh God!
So, and it's odd because it was the bassist at the time, the former bassist that just recently died in Goat Whore. He went with my buddy Rob to go to rent a generator over the Home Depot down the street, and they played that shit on a fucking generator and absolutely crushed. So that's actually signed. It says on the top, "No power, no problem."
That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's what the hell's the name of that one? Oh, Blood for the Master. And fantastic. Yeah, and all those by friend. Yeah, and some of them are slightly off, but not off enough to completely freak me out.
Yeah, so far I only got one poster hanging right behind me, the Sodom poster from Decision Day. I need to get more posters and flags to put around here because it just kind of looks barren with only just it in the middle of the movie and Funko Pop bookshelf, and then the CDs, which I still got to give my dad to help me build a new one because this one's almost full already.
It's amazing how quickly they fill up.
I don't know.
I still got stuff on the way.
I don't know if you guys watched the YouTuber Morning Red, but I got his demo.
I watch it. I don't listen to. I want to check out his music. He's entertaining. I'll give him that.
Poster.
Like I expect raw kind of punky death metal. That's kind of
yeah.
That's why I figured like very DB.
I almost thought it was maybe punky black metal. I thought, but
yeah, he's a bit animated. I will say that.
Yeah, like
another motherfucking video.
It's I like the fact that he disguises his voice and wears the mask and all that. Like that's like I feel like that's like a separate persona from what he actually is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean he does
like slams Tito every 2 seconds, like Tito's vodka every 2 seconds.
He's entertaining. I'll give him that. I know, but yeah, he definitely knows the shit about metal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'll have to check him out at some point.
I've been meaning to actually check it out because like just watching some of his videos, like I'm curious what his band actually sounds like.
they're pretty good. Yeah,
Like, is it super lo-fi? Like, just
not terribly lo-fi. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like their song "Hatred for Humanity" kind of has like an old school speed metal riff, a little bit.
Yeah, there's some good U.S. black metal. There's definitely some. I mean, there's
Weakling is one of my favorites.
Nightbringer out of Colorado. Ockleys, which also has a dude from Nightbringer in it. Dude, what is the name of that fucking album? God, it's a nightmarish fucking album cover too. There you are. Oh, fuck it, whatever.
Words.
Yeah, very haunting, very creepy. I mean, we got good black and thrash here too.
Yeah, this year for black and thrash has been really good too.
I mean, well, Hellripper is kind of the one that's winning out right now.
Oh yeah.
Toxic Holocaust will eventually resurface, though.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like this year, it's been like, for me, it's been between like thrash, black and thrash, death metal, prog, and black metal this year has been kind of reigning supreme for me this year. Black metal's kind of surprised me this year. Like I said, the new Shooter's awesome, probably my favorite. And then there's some like melodic black metal that I really like Malice Divine, Lumen Ad Boredom, Cloak, like I said.
I'm gonna get the new Cloak. I've had some there's been some stoner doom,
I need to check out that Church of Misery.
Oh, Church of Misery is fantastic. It's serial killers and Sabbath worship, and it's so heavy and so sludgy. It's got great fucking Bill Ward kind of swings to the fucking drums, and it's dark. It's dark, but it's kind of fun. Acid King, their new one's pretty good too. God.
Oh yeah, Nick, I completely forgot to show off these. So these came in the mail today. So first I got Killswitch Engage, Live or Just Breathing.
Classic.
Finally.
Classic. Yeah, I
After
love
all
that
these
album.
years.
I think it's the best metalcore album of all time.
I got some other ones I could put up in that conversation.
Converge, Jane Doe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I still love Avenged Sevenfold, Waken to Fallen, and Early
that's a
Hate
good one.
Breed.
Yeah.
An Early Hate Breed.
Unearth, The Oncoming Storm. I mean, Hate Breed, I would put Satisfaction as the Death of Dishonor in there too.
I need to get that one.
album,
I still need to get some of these. That as well as Rise of Brutality.
I saw that Connecticut show, Hate Breed, Suffo, Internal Bleeding. It was sick. My first solo concert road trip.
Wow.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. I've seen all those bands. I saw Internal Bleeding twice with different frontmen.
Yeah, they have a revolving door lineups. Yeah.
Suffo's. I mean, as long
Suffo.
Yeah, as long as Terrence is in there.
Yeah.
And
I saw them
would
in
never
March
doubt.
And I saw them in March with Death to All.
I wanted to see that Death to All show, but there was just too much other shit going on.
It was amazing, dude.
I mean, I saw Jeff's footage. He was right up. He was right maybe that far from fucking Steve DiGiorgio. I was like, you were that
Max guy. That Max guy definitely does Chuck justice.
I saw him.
I remember first hearing of him doing songs with what the fuck was that? Oh, the Defeated Sanity.
Right. Yeah.
Dharma. This song. What the fuck is the name of that album?
See, I knew him from Exist, and he also he's touring. He did that tour with Cynic. I saw him with Cynic.
Yeah, it was the Disposal of the Dead and Dharmata album that Defeated Sanity did, where
Yeah.
it was like 2 EPs on one album. It's like the first 6 tracks, typical Defeated Sanity, and then the final 5 songs felt very much like mid-90s Death with Max doing the vocals.
I mean, if you check out his bands that he actually fronts, Exist and Wait, or it's an acronym, We Are in Transit. Like he's definitely, you can definitely tell he loves Death and Cynic like a lot.
Yeah. I'll have to check out Exist for sure.
Exist is good. That I don't know, man. I like that second album, and the one that I went over in the last collection update. Like it's long, but man, the Cynic worship is so fucking on point. The melody is, oh god, it's really a fucking just pretty fucking album.
But the other ones that I got today, so slowly working my way through Dream Theater. So I got When Day and Dream Unite.
That's not a bad album.
Dramatic Turn of Events, 2-disc version. I came with let's see, documentary of the documentary of all the drum auditions they had, which is really cool. Imagine what Dream Theater would be like if Derek Roddy was in the band. That'd be an interesting what if. And then the eponymous Dream Theater.
That one's a good album. I think that one's kind of a sleeper. Dude,
So
that's
the
funny.
only ones that I'm missing now are Systematic Chaos, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, and Distance Over Time.
Systematic Chaos is a really good one.
You hear about John Petrucci?
It's funny. Yeah.
Man, I'm too progressive to take a shower. Showers are for fucking plebs.
I only shower if the water's hitting the floor in 9/8.
Stepped in the shower and I heard a 4/4 time rhythm. I was like, fucking no, this is basic.
That is funny.
I need Jordan Rudess to play me in. Like, no, I need an epic intro before I get into the shower.
And where's Sean Young to play a nice funky bass line along with it too?
Dude, like those are the fans I expect to shower. Like generally, that's the memes I see for like black metal and crust punk. I put up one a while ago with the fucking someone had a T-shirt. I don't know if it's a real T-shirt, but I might order it. It says Euronymous is dead. Bursum sucks. Go take a shower.
Oh jeez.
I was like, wow, I could piss off a lot of people with that.
Yeah, you really could.
I might get it.
Really good. That is something else for sure.
Somewhat accurate. I mean, I've been to some sweaty, gnarly fucking shows where it's like, dude, this place smells like balls fucking marinating in onions and vinegar.
Dude, that when I saw Death to All, it was really hot in there. It was the Middle East downstairs in Boston or Cambridge, whatever, Massachusetts. And Steve DiGiorgio was like, dude, I can see a mist over the crowd. It was that hot in there.
That's a funk mist.
Yeah.
Funk mist.
Y'all smell like warm urine.
I'm going to be curious to see how get a sense of smell for Gojira and Mastodon tomorrow.
Oh, man.
And I think it's an outdoor venue too.
If it's an outdoor, the airflow should be good unless you're like right next to someone. Like when I say, unfortunately, I'm missing that one. The last pavilion show I went to was Megadeth and Lamb of God, and there was a dude that was in front of us. Oh man, it was my brother-in-law and my nephew and I, and we had our seats upgraded because of some cool fucking security dude, which was awesome. Like he came by, we were sitting off to the side, and he looked and was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And my brother-in-law was like, "Is this dude about to start shit?" And my brother-in-law was like 6'8". He's like, "Oh fuck, man."
Ooh, jeez.
Wow.
Oh yeah, dude. He's a large gentleman. But
yeah, I'm used to it because my brother's 6'6", so I'm used to feeling towered.
But the security guard was like, "Is this kid's first show?" I was like, "Well, I mean, technically it's the second." And I was like, "Well, let's give him a better experience." He upgraded. He's like, "Here's some tickets." He moved us to the center, up closer, and was like, "Holy shit, Emmett, you're gonna get to see everything." And one of the things he saw immediately was the insanely drunk, shirtless man yelling at the people behind him. Come on, motherfuckers. Let's go. This dude had most of a skullet. Like, he didn't even have much in the back in terms of, like, to have a skullet, but he had it all tied into a fucking little ponytail in the back. You're like 14 hairs tied together.
14 hair.
And this dude was drunk the second we got there, and this was before Hatebreed even fucking got on. And even when Hatebreed was playing, it says, like, they were talking about, it's like, the last time we were here, we were on the second stage at Ozfest, and, you know, we've grown up, we've graduated to the main stage. Pretty cool. I know you guys have been waiting for a show. In fact, I saw a lot of you pre-gaming, like you guys over there. You guys have been drinking since like 10:30. Bravo. But as soon as he said that, I was like, this dude, Travis, he's been drinking since like 7 a.m. I bet. And dude's sweating fucking Bud Light and Coors. Oh man, that dude was hammered that entire show. I was waiting for, like, he's got to fucking pass out. He's got to pass out. He didn't. He stayed with it.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes that's pavilion shows, man. Like, you know, it's like, oh, outdoors.
Yeah, when I saw that Megadeth Lamb of God show, that was at one of those two. It was cool.
Yeah, that was when I saw Megadeth last year. Was at an outdoor place like that.
Yeah, Dave's vocals were pretty shot on that tour, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they were pretty shot as well.
Luckily I saw them in 2011 with Motorhead. That was actually my first metal concert. So
damn. Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that this Gojira Mastodon show only my second.
Well,
really, Ron?
I've got, there's too many shows coming up. Like, for sure, like, this weekend, John and I are going to Indianapolis, go to the Heavy Hell. So Mortician and Profanatica, Deceased,
Nice.
Flesher. God, who else is there? Nothingness. And some of these bands are also going to be at Full Terror Assault, which we're going to be going from the 6th to the 10th, and we'll be in the middle of fucking nowhere down in southeastern Illinois. I like, there's like nothing but small towns out there, I think. So this ought to be a nice experience.
September 6th through the 10th or October 6th through the 10th? September? Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we'll be back the 10th. And then, for sure, so I think September 22nd, I'm going to go see Godflesh in Detroit. Because
If there's one show coming up I wish I could probably go to, that's next month. Cavalera and Exhumed in Columbus.
That's at Full Terror Assault. That's one of their stops. Dude, Exhumed is amazing live. Those dudes just bring the fucking party. They are fucking insane. And Matt Harvey's like, I think he's one of metal's spirit animals. I'm absolutely certain of it. The amount of
Raw Sewage, one of the goofiest people.
Dude, I've actually got to bullshit with them a bit. We were talking about, like, when Marvel Comics characters started getting, like, maybe a little too sexy in the 90s, like Psylocke and Rogue being a little bit more scantily clad. I was like, yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah. we had some interesting conversations about, like, renting like horror movies and shit like that, and just binge watching them. Oh yeah. Well played.
Yep.
Gonna bring this. Yeah, dude. That's one of the fun parts when they bring out. I forget. Man, I don't remember the name of their mascot. The guy that wears.
With the mask and the chainsaw and the butcher's apron. Yeah, I forget.
He's also got the grind plate and the because there's a section in every live show where Sebastian does, like, leads and shit, and then they'll play, like, a lead track behind their mascot with a grind plate and a guitar arcing fucking sparks and shit. Then he'll come out in the crowd with like a head full of fucking blood and
I remember seeing like live clips from like the late 90s, early 2000s whenever they would play the song Inclination, when the bass player that wasn't Ross, where he would throw up on stage during the breakdown.
Ross has like some of the nastiest deep vocals. Dr. Filthy, there it is.
Dr. Filthy. That's brilliant.
Yeah, Ross has some of the gnarliest deep vocals. Like they are, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Impaled.
Got that one. Dude, just and he's fucking hilarious too. He also I think he works on like a vinyl plant too. Like he has a pressing plant someplace because I've seen him do like tons of videos on that. But yeah, Exhumed is not to be missed. Like they are so much fucking fun live.
And them getting open for Cavalera's. Wow.
I mean,
yeah, if only I could squeeze that in for a trip to go up to Columbus to go see that show, I would definitely do it.
How far of a drive is Columbus?
2 hours.
It's about 2 hours for me too.
Yeah.
That's a boring fucking drive from where I'm at too. Like once you pass Findlay, then that rest
like
of that
nothing,
leg, run the rest of that leg down to fucking Columbus is nothing, just miles of open nothing.
Whereas with me, it's kind of an exciting drive going from south up because I go up through to Chillicothe, then to Circleville, and then to Columbus. So I go through 2 big towns before I get to Columbus.
After you hit Findlay, like there's Marion, but no one gives a fuck about Marion.
Yeah, because I think whenever my folks and I came up through to Maumee Bay the last time 2 years ago, we went through Findlay, and there was just nothing around.
Yeah, Findlay's an all right town. Like it's kind of like a bigger sized college town. Like Cooper Tire's still there, and Marathon's there, so they have some bigger, businesses. But yeah, everything like up to that point, like civilization starts around Delaware, Ohio again, and they're like, oh god, all right, there's fucking people around. There's more cows and fucking cornfield people out there.
Yeah,
that's most of Ohio though, outside of like the cities.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my experience too.
We're driving all the way through fucking Indiana like twice. So yeah, I mean, dude,
definitely. Yeah, like definitely. Whenever you say it's like Ohio's like mostly a lot of middle of nowhere lands.
Yeah.
Like the racetrack Mid Ohio sports car course, I went there once for a race for my birthday 4 years ago. Yeah, that track's out in the middle of fucking nowhere too. But it's a nice place because you got like all these scenic trees, lots of like campground spots. Like my dad took me to this race. It was a NASCAR race, the second tier series, and they were supposed to have done super trucks after. But yeah, we had this one spot like in turn 2 where it was like this little hill with a fence in front. We was able to take like camping chairs, but we fucked up and didn't bring a first up to put over because we were blazed red on the side because the sun, it wasn't hot, but the sun was just beating fucking down on us.
Oh, dude.
I felt so miserable after that.
And
plus the guy who won the race is a guy I fucking hate. So I was like, yeah, let's just go the fuck home. I'm burned.
When I went to, I think it was Ozfest 2005, the last one I went to, my buddy, like, the sun was here, stage was here, my buddy was standing right here, and we watched like a whole bunch of bands. It was cool. Like, I think Arch Enemy, Black Dahlia Murder, fucking Soilwork, The Haunted, a lot of cool bands. And then we finally get a chance, like, let's go check out because someone was on, like, whatever on them. But I noticed, like, dude, you're fucking Two-Face. Like, right down the fucking middle, he was cooked on one side. Oh, fuck. That's going to be hella awkward.
But definitely for this show, like, I'm debating on what shirt I want to wear because I don't have nearly as many shirts as you guys do, even though I need to. But, like, I always want to wear, like, something more underground to kind of stick out. Like, whenever I went to Megadeth, I wore my Blood Red Throne shirt. So I'm thinking maybe either wear my Time Ghoul or my Nile shirt. Possibly.
I mean,
I don't know.
Nile's always respectable.
Actually, let me grab some of those.
I might have like maybe around 70 shirts.
I got way too many. I one of the other perks of having this room is there's a whole other closet now, so I can actually hang out more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which one do you think would be pretty cool? So, I got my Time Ghoul, Panoramic Twilight.
It's cool.
Nile in their Darkened Shrines.
That was my first Nile album.
Obituary, 10,000 Ways to Die. Blood Red Throne. And Death Spiritual Healing.
That's cool.
I'm between Nile and Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll go Death.
In their Darkened Shrines was my first Nile album, so that one's always going to be a little bit special.
Yeah, it was definitely this, and amongst the Catacombs and Iffy Phallic were my early ones.
Amongst the Catacombs, I think Annihilation of the Wicked. Man, that album's so good.
I know the day next year I'm definitely ranking Nile finally, because I've put them in so many polls on YouTube and they always get close, but no cigars. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm ranking Nile early 2024. I don't care.
Obituary was on one of my picks on our Patreon.
That lost to Immolation.
Oh, well, I mean, everyone had been saying, when are you guys going to rank Immolation? I was like, dude, they just came out with a new album and we got to finish up what we got. And
right.
Yeah, but finally we got it, and I mean, so far it's pretty popular. And I explained, I was like, listen, whatever we rank this, it'll be wrong because I understand this band is grossly consistent, and they don't have a bad album. And if you think they have a bad album, you're wrong, and shut up.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say that even for Incantation too. I don't think they have a bad album. They have albums I like less, but they're not bad. And I think they're going to hold sway with this new one because those singles sound actually gross.
Yeah. I haven't checked out the last single, but I checked out the first one.
Homunculus.
Yeah.
That's the newest single. Dude, it's the doomier of the two. Like, just slow and murky. It sounds slimy. And John's fucking vocals. I love John McEntie's vocals, especially when he's that like that big build up. Like it's like a phlegmy pukiness to it. It's like,
ugh. I know eventually on my podcast we're gonna talk to John at some point. We were supposed to have got him on back in March, but I think he got busy, so
I mean, dude, the Incantation's fucking road dogs. I've met him a couple of times. Super nice dude. The way he speaks, like his speaking voice is so
nothing like what you would expect.
Like he's just like, you just sound like the nicest fucking person. Contrary to like what I just heard of all the demonic gurgling and roaring on stage.
Yeah. And like trying to remember, there was another person. Oh yeah, eventually we're also going to get to interview Sam from Frozen Soul at some point, but it's still been a year and I still can't believe I got to talk to Dan Swano.
I mean, Dan Swano's a fucking legend, dude.
And super funny, nice guy. Like one of the funniest things he told us whenever we were doing the wrap up and I was bringing up how literally like a couple days after we did the Swano interview, we interviewed Jeremy from Broken Hope. And when I brought that up, he's like, oh yeah, funny enough. He and Dan's like, I actually was supposed to have been the one to mix that Omen of Disease album before they went with somebody else, but send them my regards, the bastards. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, Swano was super, super nice, super funny. All the stories he was telling us about, like when he was recording Opeth Orchid, and like how Michael basically says like, or he said like Michael wanted like the whole vocal room to be lit with candles just to get a vibe, and like some random couch and some random couch. It's like, why does it look like that? Straighten it back up or whatever. It was like some random shit like that. But I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, Swano, one of my idols. Like he, Ockerfeld, Hetfield, Dickinson, and probably Corpse Grinder would be among my heroes.
Hold on,
for vocals or just people.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I think Swano's probably doing the production on this new Incantation.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like
he's done the last 3.
Done
in terms
4,
of production.
actually.
Oh yeah, no 4. Yeah,
Vanquish. Yeah, Vanquish.
Vanquish.
Dirges, Profane, and the last one. Yeah.
Vanquish.
And I was kind of surprised Swano actually didn't do the production on that last Asphyx album, since he did the 3 previous.
I mean, he, in terms of working in slots, that dude like seems perpetually busy too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got his musical projects which he produces too, and then like, hey, we
day
need
job too.
Singer or a guitarist. You want to step in? Like, yeah, sure. Oh, hey, there's like 18 different bands that want you to produce their album
or mix them.
Yeah, and I get it. Like he does a great job. Like,
and it's insane to think like after the 90s, he said he was pretty much done doing production and mixing until November's Doom called him up and said, "Hey, would you like to produce our album Pale Haunt Departure?" And he was like, "I'm retired. I got bands going and stuff and a day job." But relented, and that brought him back into the game after he did that Moon Tower album in '98. He was kind of done doing production and mixing until November's Doom came a knocking, and now he's been doing it ever since. But actually, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm still waiting to hear if he and his raw songwriting partner Ragnar will do another Witherscape album, because it's been 7 years since the last one.
Those are both really good too. I really
Northern Sanctuary. I think if I remember right, that was my album of the year in 2016.
It has like a good balance between like a little bit of that Stockholm sound, but also a lot of the Gothenburg sound and very epic kind of doomy in spots. Like he's just a solid writer.
Yeah, like Witherscape. The best way for like the uninitiated to describe Witherscape: what would happen if Nightingale and Edge of Sanity had a child? Because you get the best of both bands in Witherscape. You get like those like arena rock anthemic parts you would get in Nightingale with the proggy mellow death of Edge of Sanity, and you mix it together. Now this is a prospect. Scott Burns coming out of retirement.
Incredible.
No, that
would be insane. Oh, that is true?
Yeah, the song, the band Till the Dirt with Kelly Schaefer. And there's some other notables in there too, but yeah, Scott Burns is doing the production on that. Kelly has still been pretty good friends with him.
Ever since
he actually,
the 80s.
I want to say he got him to go to a show, and I think it was like Cattle Decapitation, and Scott was like, "Man, this band sounds amazing. Yeah, you should check out their albums and their production." And I think Kelly kind of got him back into producing.
Back into the game. I hope he sticks around, because I would be curious to hear how he could do production today. I think I remember like the last thing I heard him do was that interview with Reaper Metal Productions, Into the Darkness. And he brought up, it's like he would have to hire an engineer that knows how to use Pro Tools for today. And I think if he found that guy, I'd say he could definitely come back. And the renaissance of Scott Burns in this decade would be a major thing. Like, could you imagine if Cannibal Corpse went back to Scott for one album? That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
and even some modern bands would probably want to go work with Scott too.
Honestly, like I get kind of tired of, I do get kind of tired of Eric Rattan's production. now that he's in the band officially, it's like, fuck, no one else is ever going to produce a fucking Cannibal Corpse album until they retire. But, like, because, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like Skeletal Domain is it was a break from that. You had Mark Lewis.
That album whoops ass, yeah.
Yeah, it's killer. It's a solid album. But, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm hoping Scott doesn't have any, like, growing pains in terms of, like, you know, getting back into it and shit like that. But so far, I think there's only one single up for Till Dirt, but it's weird. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Strappy Young Lad's Alien, just in terms of like kind of the strange transitions, the kind of off-kilter vocals and such. And the lyric video is really strange. It's like this weird morphing AI art. I don't know. Like AI art is thoroughly hilarious these days, at least on Facebook. I joined a group called Cursed AI, and
oh yeah, Joe and John were telling me about that earlier.
Yeah, I've seen some of this stuff.
Oh my god, dude! Fucking Joe always finds like the worst, like the one with like it's I guess someone typed in testicle ice cream, and it's just like, oh dude, in an ice cream cone and balls with hair. It's horrible. But yeah, a lot of the ideas, they just punch in these weird fucking ideas. Like, what was the one that I saw? One that Noon and I saw today was Black Jack Black drinking Jack, and
wow,
yeah, it's weird because they actually get it pretty. Like, it's like, yeah, no, that's exactly that sentence. Or there was one he showed me of was like Tom Hanks tripping on acid in Target. And it's brilliant. It's amazing. And everyone seems obsessed with Glenn Danzig on there. It's Danzig doing something like
I've seen one of him eating hot dogs.
Yeah,
just Glenn Danzig eating hot dogs.
But one of my favorites is still the lava eating contest. Oh my god!
I saw that. Yeah, I think that's
horrifying pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, AI art. That's the only thing I like when it comes down to AI art. I need it to be stupid. If it's not stupid, I'm not interested. I want shit.
Yeah.
Or like AI voiceovers. Like the only AI voiceover shit I check out is for the wrestling fans. The Gorilla Monsoon podcast. Like, what if Gorilla Monsoon from WWF had his own podcast? Oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
I love the AI vocal covers.
I've checked some of those out. Some of those are bad, but some are pretty funny, like Plankton covering Tool.
I've seen the one Plankton covering Dream On.
Or Plankton covering The Pot by Tool. And it's like,
Patrick
sounds like what would...
on a Leash.
Oh my god, that's so...
I've seen the...
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Bots write a script to a Michael Bay movie. Bots write an obituary for a random person. Oh yeah, dude. Like, there's, let computers go wild with that, just as long as it's stupid. That's the only thing that matters. It has to be dumb.
Shit.
Give me a second. Be right back.
All right.
There was
I was going to
say,
actually, real quick before you go, Nick. Speaking of that Gorilla Monsoon podcast, that brings me to a funny joke that they did. So, so here's the joke. So an Italian scientist decides to do an experiment on frogs. So he takes out a frog and goes, "Jump, a froggy, jump, jump," and the frog manages to jump about 18 feet. So he writes down his notes. Froggy jumps 18 feet. He takes a cleaver, chops a damn leg off. Now this frog has only 3 legs, and he goes, "Jump, a froggy, jump, jump." And the frog manages to jump about 6 feet. So he writes, Froggy with the 3 legs jumps 6 feet, takes the cleaver, chops another damn leg off. "Go, froggy, jump, jump." And he manages to jump about 2 feet. Froggy with the 2 legs jumped 2 feet. Chops another damn leg off. Jump, a froggy, jump, jump. And the frog manages to jump about maybe 10 inches or so. Froggy with 1 leg jumped 10 inches. Takes the cleaver, chops the last remaining leg, and he goes, jump, a froggy, jump. Nothing. Come on, a froggy, jump. Nothing. Froggy? Nothing. So he writes down his notes. Froggy with the no legs, he becomes deaf. I've gotten people with that. Oh.
All right, give me a second. Be right back.
Alrighty. I even cracked myself up. The frog would rather get boiled.
I saw this one. It was Justice era. James Hetfield covers the Judas Kiss. It was actually pretty cool.
See, my whole thing about with this AI craze right now, it's like I feel like it's gonna die down eventually, like any trend.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Online.
Yeah.
But it is funny when done right, like that Gorilla Monsoon podcast. Like it's on YouTube, and you just find a channel, not Gorilla Monsoon. Sounds almost exactly like him, and it's like if he was still alive and somehow had his own podcast, I could literally see these scenarios happening. If he, Bobby Heenan, and Mean Gene Okerlund were still alive and they were a trio podcast, that'd be the greatest podcast ever made.
Yeah.
No doubt. Like, no question. Or like sometimes in these episodes, because he mostly does them on Twitter, but he posts them on YouTube, so only 2 minutes, 20 seconds long. And the guy would make the thing say, like, with Monsoon and Heenan debating over stuff like what was it? What the fuck? Oh yeah, like Real Monsoon says, "No way, Heenan, chunky peanut butter all the way. Case closed." Monsoon, you're so misguided. You are so misguided. Creamy peanut butter is where it's at. Boring. No, that smooth, creamy texture. Yeah, I don't want to have any thin layers on my sandwich. Yeah, but I don't want any of that gravel in my peanut butter. Huh. Well, I like the way the nuts feel in my mouth. I'm just going to leave that one alone. Yay, I win. Didn't catch the joke. Or, they would do so many things. Or like they were talking about like Cheers or whatever, and whatever show, Frasier and Cheers, and like, oh, no way, no, Cheers is far better than Frasier. I like Woody. Well, Gorilla, that's your problem. That's it. No, you know a thing or two about Woody's, Gorilla. Nothing. You wish you. Yeah, I got nothing. History has been made on this day. The brain has been stumped on this day. Just like your dick, a stump. Oh, damn it all to heck. Like, the jokes he just writes for this shit are just so... And he even brings in, like, other voices occasionally, like Dave Meltzer, Vince Russo, Jim Cornette. He literally made what would happen if a table for 3 of Gorilla Monsoon, Jim Cornette, and Vince Russo would have happened. And it's literally just Jim Cornette saying, naming Italian things. Like, I can't believe I'm sitting here with this pizza eating, ravioli eating, New York Islanders, New York Yankees, New York Mets, New York Jets, fucking Joe Pesci, fucking Danny DeVito, fucking Ed Koch, motherfucker. It's like, what the... And even the Monsoon voice was like, now you're just naming things. But yeah, it's funny. It is funny shit. But yeah, like I said, I do think that whole craze, it's gonna die down eventually, and never to be heard from a whole lot afterwards.
Yeah.
At least the way I think. But now Nick's got me curious about checking out that curse stuff and like seeing all the random bullshit that pops up. Like,
honestly, the AI art.
Tom Hanks tripping on acid.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that exists.
Honestly, AR can also get kind of like weird too, like kind of creepy. Because it's
Yeah.
just so unnatural, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of funny stuff too with it.
Yeah. I also forgot. I remember about 7 years ago there was that trend of turning that Lazy Town "We Are Number One" song into whatever the fuck was going on, which I actually liked that because I grew up watching Lazy Town early on when I was like 9 or whatever, and that actor who played Robbie Rodden, rest in peace, who passed away from cancer. Which I remember that was why that trend was going on to raise money for his treatment. But like, I remember one somebody did where he would do the song in like 10 different metal band styles, like Marilyn Manson, Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica, System of a Down. I think Animals as Leaders might have been one. It was like a hodgepodge of whatever the fuck. But actually, I think my favorite one I saw somebody did where they turned it into like an 80s techno pop song, and it sounds like it would have come out in the 80s. It's like, damn, that sounds really fucking good. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, that trend sadly died off when the actor passed away, but still. Oh, and I keep forgetting I eventually need to try out that new HBO Max hybrid app, Max, and watch that new Metalocalypse movie that's being made before Death Album 4 comes out here in a couple of weeks. Because, yeah, definitely that weekend, like that last weekend of the month, yeah, reviewing that and Incantation. So that's, yeah, towards the end of August looking cool. And then September, like we were just talking about a while ago, fucking packed with stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Ricky and Charlie, new Suffocation is supposed to come out in September, but there's been no announcement or singles, so I don't know.
Maybe they're pulling off the Avenged Sevenfold, the stage strategy, and just waiting until the last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if have they ever been like the kind of band to just drop stuff out of nowhere? I don't think so. Right?
Nah.
Yeah.
And I think like whenever Avenged Sevenfold did that when the stage came out 7 years ago, I feel like it somewhat backfired because they didn't have the best chart success. Like it was number 4, whereas the albums before were number 1. So I think that kind of affected it. But at the same token, like the album was brilliantly done musically. It's just, yeah, they waited until like the month prior to release to start dropping details about it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it was
I think didn't Warner Brothers also drop like
well, yeah, the
lawsuit
Warner Brothers lawsuit, and
without
then
their
they were
consent?
on Capitol Records. Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of screwed them over too.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow they're back on Warner Brothers, even though I never thought that would happen, considering that split.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, that new album, Life Is But a Dream. Yeah, that was on Warner Brothers. I thought they were still on Capitol, but I guess they've mended fences with Warner after.
What do you think of the new album? It seems to be pretty controversial.
I know it's super split among even diehards or new people coming in. I like it, but it definitely is an adjustment for sure because of just how spastic it got. Like the first 6 tracks I really liked because they were the heavier tracks. Like Game Over, I really like that mandolin intro, and then it just goes straight into thrash. Mattel kind of had a little bit of that old school Avenged Sevenfold vibe, and even like a death metal breakdown in there too. When I first heard that first single, Nobody, it was definitely a strange tune, but it kind of had a bit of a Gojira vibe a little bit, because I bet they were a bit inspired by Gojira after they toured with them in Metallica 6 years ago. Even though they said their biggest influence was Mr. Bungle, which certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
And then that song We Love You, that was definitely one of the weirder ones because of that thrashy gallop at the beginning, but with the super high vocals, and then you get this like techno beat, and then how they did the chorus differently every time, and then probably the heaviest moment when they got super thrashy and low roars in the vocals, and then ends off on a bluesy note, which was kind of cool. And then you got my two favorites, Cosmic, which I still think is the best track on the album. It was just like soaring everywhere. And then Beautiful Morning, kind of like the trademark Avenged Sevenfold sound mixed in with like a Tangerine Dream kind of vibe. My only major problem I had with the album, aside from just the weirdness of it all, I didn't like the auto-tuning on a couple of the tracks. It made sense on Cosmic because it fit that like sci-fi theme of the song. But then on the songs like Easier and Ordinary, I was like, you didn't really need to do that, Matt. You are a good enough singer that you could sing that proper. Especially Ordinary, which Ordinary, despite that being the most non-Avenged Sevenfold song ever, I find it catchy because of that Daft Punk vibe and also the bass work.
Right. Yeah.
And I find myself singing along to that song quite a bit. But
they also did that on Lost from the Self-Titled. They kind of used auto-tune.
Like a vocoder kind of effect.
Yeah.
But, and then like that song G, that definitely kind of had that like old school prog rock funk vibe. But again, the vocals wasn't too big on them. And then those last two songs, Death and the title track, I liked them for what they were because they were more like grand, particularly that title track, because I just love hearing great piano pieces. But definitely I would have loved to have heard a heavier cut at the end. But it was like it was a tale of two halves, essentially. Like you had a heavy first half and then a weird, wacky second half.
Yeah,
we're talking about the last Avenged Sevenfold, aren't we?
yeah,
dude. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking on that one.
I've seen people call it Dollar Store Mr. Bungle.
It's like honestly, that's the split. That's the split. It's like you got like people who feel like it's a jumbled mess, and then people say it's a masterpiece. I'm kind of in between. Like there's some songs I think are fantastic, and then others are like, well,
there was one
without certain
pretty good, but the rest of it was just, man, dude, it was a jumbled mess. Like let's just see what sticks, and not much of it did. Like it was an experiment, and results may vary.
Yeah, like I remember I gave it an 8 out of 10 just solely based on the strength of the first 6 tracks, because I just really liked those songs because of the riffs that came in. And Cosmic, of course, definitely helped.
Yeah, there we go. That's the song that I thought was pretty good.
That song, I find myself singing along to quite a bit.
Yeah,
even over the auto tune, which I will say, like that was really my, other than just the like I was just saying to Josh, other than just the overall weirdness of it, the only problem I had with it was the auto tune on a few tracks. It's like it made sense on Cosmic because of that sci-fi theme, so it fit. But on Easier and Ordinary, you didn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, fucking Shadow's vocals, I think that they're getting to the point of being roached. Like, he's
when he's trying to go high and gruff, not the best. But when he's sullen and soothed down, it's pretty good.
I've never been a fan of him vocally, like especially his clean vocals, because it sounds like it's very constrained and very nasal, and it just takes me right out of it. And his growls were all right too. I mean, he doesn't really do much anymore, but musically it was just it was all right. It's like TikTok, short form. Let's only stick with something for a second, make it quick and digestible, and then we're on to the next thing that doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. And that was it. Like, I don't know. Like, in theory, it could have been pretty good, but in execution, I feel like they just kind of jumbled everything together, and there was only one song that I thought that flowed really well for what it was. But the rest of it was like, dude, I don't know what the hell is going on here. Like, it was like, dude, I swear, like at the beginning, it's like, all right, I know they said they were doing they were doing some hallucinogens and shit, and
That would make sense.
yeah, to a degree, it would. But at the same time, I imagine sober them had to go back and listen to it and was like, I don't know about that. Like, no,
And
no.
even
We achieved brilliance.
and even Shadow's been debating whether or not they would play Cosmic live in interviews.
Honestly, there's so much stuff going on in those songs. That's very difficult to replicate live, especially if they want to do it to the level like the dude. I want to know what the bill was on making that album, because there's also a theory, because I mean the comments when we reviewed that were loaded with just lots of like this is transcendental, it's beyond music. Like shut up. And he was like, yeah, no, this
I wouldn't go that far,
nothing.
but
I was like, it's not nothing, but it's weird. But there were people saying, I was like, all right, I have a theory. Could be interesting. Now they re-signed back with Warner Brothers on that one after their whole lawsuit and the court battle and shit like that. There was someone that said, what if they re-signed with Warner Brothers just to fleece them on an album? Like,
just to say fuck you for
we're gonna make this
fucking
the
us
most
over.
bloated mess we can. We're gonna have a whole orchestra, horn sections. We're gonna get the most expensive producer, mixer, masterer, all that shit, and they did. Like, you look at the production team on that. That is millions.
Stacked. Yeah.
And we're just gonna make the most weird shit we possibly can, and even the quote unquote singles are not going to be really singles. I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's because you consider like how much upfront money they gave them to do that, and Avenged Sevenfold is still a pretty marketable band. But
they can afford to take a risk and see
what
happens.
But they at the same time, like, what if this was like a subtle revenge play? I don't know.
It could be. It could be because
so
Josh and I we were talking about, because he brought up with rumors are that Suffocation might release an album in September, but there's not been anything said about it. And I was bringing up like, that's kind of what happened
Ricky
with
and Charlie have both said, but there's been like nothing.
Which led me to bring up like how when The Stage came out 7 years ago, like they were only dropping details for that album a month before the album came out. And that kind of reflected on where they were on the charts. Like, because before they were like number one for 2 albums in a row, and then they dropped to 4. But it didn't matter, because in hindsight, for like, say, those who got back into the band from Life is But a Dream, in hindsight should check out The Stage. Just if you want to hear Avenged Sevenfold doing prog that actually feels cohesive and not just jumbled, then The Stage would be the perfect album, because of just where they're on The Stage, they were taking different musical influences, but not like trying to cram them in a short amount of time. They would actually express it in like a longer format. Like the song Fermi Paradox in particular, there's literally black metal on there, like like melodic tremolos and blast beats, and it feels like this grand black metal part, even though the vocals are clean, but the music, the tremolos and the blasts. And then the song what was it, the song Goddamn, that's essentially a straight up thrash song, super heavy, chuggy. And then that final track, Exist, longest song they ever did, it's about 16 minutes, but they pack in lots of cool sections to like really make the song feel huge and complete. Like the first 5 minutes, the first minute's like this big guitar atmospheric build, and then it gets into like super thrash metal, and then you get like death metal chugs, almost like Blood Red Throne decapitated levels of chugging in the breakdown, and then you get this great solo. And then you almost get like what feels like the universe collapsing with a nice lead. Then it gets into like prog rock territory where it's softer and the vocals come in for a little bit. And then you end on like a melodic thrash and black metal note with Neil deGrasse Tyson doing spoken word to represent discussing the universe. And it felt like the perfect culmination to this concept album about artificial intelligence, space, war, and all this stuff. And they managed to do it far more cohesive than on Life is But a Dream. So that's why I always say, if you came into Life is But a Dream expecting something cohesive and you didn't get it, go back and check out the stage, because that is straight up.
You were
prog
the only
metal.
one that said that
But,
too.
yeah.
But I don't know.
It is definitely worth checking out in hindsight, especially if you like, as a palate cleanser almost, if you want to hear what would happen if Sevenfold went more proggy but not weird.
I've seen that Shatner album, by the way, Rick. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I might check out the stage, but that, I mean, granted, it was one of the most fun reviews in terms of writing down notes.
Yeah, I do.
Like at a certain
like
point,
all the lists of bands and artists you were coming.
dude, that was the most artists I've ever crammed in one, like in terms of logos and shit. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, dude! They tried everything, and they succeeded at maybe a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I kind of like the theory that they fleeced them.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's possible.
That
Like,
seems possible. Yeah.
It's it's the long con fucking revenge too, which I like those more like methodical plans like that. It's like, ooh, that's kind of devious. I like it.
yeah.
They-
But but yeah, and then like a couple other tracks on the stage that kind of stood out because they were going different. I'm trying to remember what the fuck was that song. Paradigm. That kind of felt more closer to their early stuff, like when they were more metalcore, because you got more to growling, screaming vocals and like breakdowns, not so much what they would become. So that one felt like a throwback to the original fans. It's like, hey, how about we sneak this song in here and see what happens? I would say the title track is like prog metal with some cool clean guitars that kind of feel like Pink Floyd and whatnot, but then you get like these heavy sections and great ripping leads. Sunny Disposition was one that would feel like it could be on Life is But a Dream, but it would be the most cohesive song on the whole album because you get saxophone, but it fits perfectly with the song and not feel like it's unnatural. And it was the first time you heard blast beats on an Avenged Sevenfold song was on there.
I swear, man, when Rivers and Nile fucking dropped a sax on Where the Owls Know My Name, everyone's like, you know what? Let's get a sax. We need a sax in there. Because saxophone has popped up so many fucking times. Yeah. At least in like...
And that was, I think, the only song where they had a sax, but it was done tastefully, so...
Well, they definitely had a sax. Life is But a Dream, but they also had everything else.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Like I would, especially to those, like I said, that were into Life is But a Dream. Yeah, the stage is definitely like Life is But a Dream, but better and not weird and cohesive. But it is what it is. And then like. I mean, part of that, I always defend Avenged Sevenfold because they were one of the first bands I got into. When I was 9, it was them and Metallica. So I've always been a big fan. It's like, even whenever they take a risk, I still give them props because they tried.
Yeah. I mean,
it's definitely not my favorite. It definitely, if I had to re-rank Avenged Sevenfold albums, like I already did my ranking earlier this year, but Life is But a Dream, I wouldn't put it last. I still would put the first album last, but it's still all right.
Yeah, the first album isn't too great.
Yeah, like they hadn't fully found their sound until the second album. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sigs. Sigs. But I think on that note, I'm going to end the stream here. Man, almost 4 hours. Holy shit. I didn't expect to go this long because get some sleep and then heading for the road for the show tomorrow. So thank you guys, everybody who came in, Boss, John, Joe, Josh, Nick. Thank you all so much. And of course, I'll remind you, Nick, that I'll keeping. God damn it, English, motherfucker, do you speak it? I will remind you about whenever this possible trip of fuck off, Rick.
He's new at this, Rick. Come on, he's young. He's not even 30 yet.
But I'll definitely keep in touch. I'll keep in touch about if we're getting that trip made.
Yeah, let me know. Like I said,
because I know one thing for sure. If this happens, I would love to just hang out with you guys, possibly see your whole collection. Just be like,
I gotta get my shelf, dude.
Like,
the museum.
Yeah, practically a museum at your house.
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm moved up here, there's no computer down there. I mean, I only go down there to fetch CDs to record up here now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta get my my family friend that's gonna do shelves again. He said he wants to do them. He's just got to get a hold of me and let me know when, because it's gonna be.
I know
big undertaking.
Either I got to get a new processor for this computer or just put thermal paste on here, because I've been having overheating issues with this computer lately. So that's why I'm only using it sparingly. Like, I've had this thing on since 7 o'clock. So I'm trying to not use it for more than 6-7 hours.
Totally understandable.
So,
well, hey, man, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Happy birthday once again. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. I will.
And,
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
All right. And everybody watching, you guys take her easy. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet, as I always say.
Maybe not the second one so much.